never know how
He's
to
gonna
speak
get
as a
flagged
normal
$16 million.
person.
You're like,
How
cool.
I have a job talking to people all day, I don't
The
understand.
typey boys.
The typey boys,
All right.
the winky boys, everything like
There's
that.
got to be a moment where you're about to
Where-
slip up and then you
yeah.
go, can't say that.
Hello, everyone. It's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Talkin' Yugioh Into the VRAINS, a stream where we discuss everything Yu-Gi-Oh! And mostly Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS related. We don't have many of these streams left since we are rounding off the top 5 lists. I have not yet done my top 10 characters video, so you're going to get a little bit of a pretty much a big spoiler as to my 5 favorite characters, the 5 characters that I thought were the best in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, as well as Pete's list, Nick T's list, and Calibra's list. And we are joined by a very full crew today. My name is Dylan, if you guys want to quickly introduce yourselves.
I'm Kate.
Cal.
Nick T.
Megan.
Pete.
And yeah, so thank you to everyone who's stopping by. Looks like our video has already been flagged by the FTC. No, I'm kidding. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Woo! Now, we still got a month and a half before that happens. But, so, how you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. Why don't you tell the viewers what the FCT...
I'm freaking out. You ruined my whole day, Dylan.
Oh, here
I'm
we
freaking
go.
out.
Well,
I
I
we weren't going to talk about it.
don't worry, it'll be
Okay,
quick.
fine.
Well, I'm sure you guys know about, COPPA and the
Insert
FTC and
one,
YouTube, and,
insert
we'll see what's going to happen.
No,
I got
we're
one
only
thing
going to
say
talk
to the
about
FTC.
this.
You can COPPA these nuts. That's all I'm going to
He wanted it. He wanted to
I
say
wanted
it.
to
He
say
did.
that. In all seriousness, hopefully this does get resolved.
Well, I think of the stream only about the first 2 hours will be about this, and then we'll get into the top 5 characters.
Yeah.
Well, we can get
Yeah,
into
we'll be here.
This just went after dark
Someone
in like
said
about
the
10
stream is
seconds.
Yeah,
constantly-
literally
to say
10
that.
seconds into it.
the stream is constantly buffering.
Looks good on my end.
Yeah, we're good over here.
Might be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out your internet, my dude.
That's search.
Try resetting it.
Yes, but in all seriousness, thank you guys all for coming, and we are gonna. If you haven't seen these videos before, we take one of the top 10 lists that I usually do. I don't have my video out on it. I'm aiming for a Thursday release as a little bit of a reward for not having the top 10 characters out. I'm aiming to do top 15 characters of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. I already have my rankings, so a little bit more juice, a little bit more depth in the video, and I will be doing a top 15. But you're going to hear my top 5 in this video. You're going to hear all of our top 5s, and
Yes, sir.
yeah. Do we want to speak on
Drop our water bottles everywhere.
Just yeah. I mean, do we want to speak on the whole COPPA thing, or is there really? There's not really much.
I'm
to
freaking
say.
out.
I
man.
mean, I think at this point, what there has,
Nothing's
What-
gonna happen for a long time.
well, and
If-
what's needs to be said has been said. I think a lot of YouTubers have already spoken out on it.
Yeah.
All the relevant information, at least that as far as we have it, has been devolved by other YouTubers out there. There's a ton of videos breaking this down that you can go watch if you don't fully understand it. Inform yourselves. Inform yourselves, because it will change the landscape of YouTube as we know it.
Yeah, if it goes through.
If it
Which
goes
right
through.
now, January 1st is when it's all set to take effect. So we'll see. But if that happens, it's going to be the end for probably like thousands of channels, if not millions of channels.
Absolutely.
There might not be any more like Pokemon content. There might not be any more Yu-Gi-Oh content on YouTube, and that'll be very interesting to see what happens. So I'm not, I was worried about it a couple nights ago when I first heard and read it up, but worrying about it, going into paranoia, it's not going to help. It doesn't do much.
I'm in
I
the full phase.
Well,
right
I
now.
was in the phase you were in a couple nights ago
Yeah.
when I first read about it, and now I'm kind of just in more of a laughing. I'm not laughing, but more lighthearted phase of it, and I'm just hopeful that things will not get past the way that they are right now.
I hope not.
But we'll see. It is a
I'm
serious
hopeful,
thing.
I'm hopeful too.
Yeah.
Shark Tale said blame lightning for collecting data on young kids.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, jeez.
No, hold the true, people responsible, YouTube and Google.
Yeah.
For real though.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know what happened,
Lay down the law.
they,
See?
the COPPA, the Child Protection Act, which is a good act, in my opinion, does not allow corporations to track data of anyone under the age of 13, which I have no issue with. I mean, they're kids. I don't even think they should necessarily be on YouTube or on social media. I mean, if you're a third grader, why do you need to be on YouTube? Or I mean, it's a different time, I guess.
Today's day and age. Man.
Yeah, but it's
Well,
I was
still
on RuneScape.
That's my
RuneScape.
Yeah, oh,
my
dude,
little
I was.
cousin
Maple
when he
story
was
for
4
me.
years old.
Oh, Siri, what the hell?
Please try again in a moment.
See, she was listening, bro.
It's because you're on the Wi-Fi, bro. You gotta turn that
Oh, yeah.
off.
I don't think that was why though.
Your little cousin?
When he was like 4 years old, my aunt and uncle would just give
Put him in front of a
Yeah, they would just
iPad.
give him
Every
the
kid has a
phone
smartphone
and
now.
Let him watch YouTube,
Every
and
kid.
he would just click on whatever he wanted.
Okay, but isn't that parents' fault? Why is that
Yeah.
falling on the creators?
Exactly.
That's
thank you.
always
That
how it
was-
has
That's exactly
to
what
work.
I said too.
The comment that I sent in on one of those pages was
Yeah.
exactly that.
Yeah.
People are never going to take responsibility either corporation-wise or at the family level structure. They're always going to blame someone else.
Yeah.
So if the easiest way to get it is on the consumer, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
We'll pay
Exactly.
for their mistakes.
I do want to address because Junko doesn't seem to know exactly what's going on. Long story short, there is an act, about a 20-year-old act, saying that companies are not allowed to collect and sell information of people under the age of 13. YouTube and Google, for the entirety of the act, have been breaking it, and the FTC caught them. Now there is a
They paid in September a $200 million
right.
fine.
They paid the fine.
Sounds like a lot. They make that in about a day.
Right.
Not even.
And now they struck an agreement with the FTC to sort of enforce it better, which really they're just shifting the responsibility to the creators, and the content will be monitored tenfold worse. Like it's really bad.
Every time we upload a video, we have to say whether it is made for kids or not made for kids. If we say it's not made for kids, and the FTC says, no, this video is made for kids, we can get fined up to $40,000. If we say that it is made for kids, which again, kids in this example being 12 or under, so I don't believe that, I mean, we've all watched VRAINS, I don't believe that VRAINS is best understood by an 11-year-old.
No, I don't think that's the target audience.
No, it's not.
No.
But as a 60-year-old guy in the FTC going to think
animated,
that.
yes.
It's an animated cartoonish
Right.
character. So if he says, no, this is, we get fined. Now, if we want to be safe and say, it is for kids, I made this video, there's kids in mind, then there's no comment section. You lose 90% of your revenue. It doesn't come up in the search feed,
doesn't get
subscription
recommended.
boxes. It doesn't get recommended. And the only way people can find it is by actually going to your channel. And that's if you think
which
it's...
means the death of content for that. You know.
Yeah, so if you have a channel that's solely focused on kid content, what about like Fortnite and Minecraft? We talked about that.
about
Those
the
are
gaming
huge
streamers,
IPs.
yeah.
What is it's so? And the rules were written in 1998, the law. So it's so vague. So animated characters, video games, music,
Toys.
sports, toys.
Yeah.
There's like huge unboxing channels of toys. I guess they can't make content anymore.
Yeah, there's no way to sustainably make money that way.
Yeah.
Isn't there like
So
a
it-
kid that does like rates toys?
Yeah,
He's
he
done.
does it with his
Videos.
dad, but like
He's done. That channel's
He's done.
done.
It's done.
Yeah. So
Wait,
it's
why is that done?
because it targets kids. It targets kids under
So
the
they
age of
can't make
12.
money. They can't possibly make money off that content.
And they can say,
There's no
oh,
targeted
it's
ads.
they can say, oh, it's for kids, but then it's out of the search engine. You lose
Horrible
90% of revenue.
Yeah.
So it's if it gets passed on January 1st,
But you have
It's
to
gonna be
say
the
your
death-
favorite loophole. What's your favorite loophole? That you can't search things right as a kid. So then technically, then the kid would be searching all content that's not for children.
Right.
Yes.
They'd be searching adult content would be the only thing they could search, which makes literally no sense
Yeah.
because if the
Yeah.
objective is to protect kids, why would you direct them to things that are then declared not for kids?
right? Because that's the thing. So everything in the YouTube search feed or in the sidebar that's recommended starting on January 1st is going to be content that says this is not made for kids. If an 11-year-old or a 12-year-old goes on their phone, goes on YouTube and searches a video, every single video in that search feed will be a video that is not meant for them.
Oh,
So
no,
how-
Atlanta, that's a terrible
And the thing is,
idea.
too,
So
you
that's-
also have to realize, oh, well, YouTube might have it as if you enter your age as a 10-year-old, you're only going to get kid content. How many of us out there, when you try to
Right.
get on some site, are going to just say you're 18, you're 25, or whatever?
When I was
There's
younger, I did that.
There's no way
Yeah,
you're
that's
going
exactly.
to know.
No.
And I know like someone brought up like, well, how would they have known if someone put a fake age? But like this all started because yes, YouTube collected information of people, but if people also consuming content that was technically for children, who was watching content intended for children, a lot of times it's children.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and then they put the blame on the creators instead of taking responsibility.
I do want to shout out Stardust because he just came in and was like, ooh, COPPA talk. Yes, he was the one that really informed me the most last night on this.
Yeah, when
So-
Sam was probably about the 7th or 8th person that
and
sent
you.
me something.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we'll see what happens.
exactly. Whatever. Oh, but I do want to say also, because on a lighter note, Jake
Yeah, just that.
commented saying like, I just wanted to say hello because he said thank you for putting a smile on my face on a hard time. I hope you're doing good, Jake. It's been a minute and I miss you and I hope things are looking up.
Yeah, I hope you're doing good, man.
Yeah,
The-
Jake,
the-
it's been a while.
The one thing though, like with if I have to adapt, I have to adapt. I mean, I'm going in it with the mindset of if they want to take me down, they can come for me. But I'm not gonna go into the marking of my content is kids friendly. I genuinely do not make content for people in elementary school or younger.
No.
The shows that I don't even do content on the card game, which maybe you can say is for younger kids, which I don't really agree with necessarily. But the show in Japan is targeted for people that are of the age of 13 and up. That's the show that I review, and a lot of the times the reviews and the content of the Yu-Gi-Oh shows are above the head of someone in second and third grade.
Right.
So I truly believe that I will be okay. There's a good chance though that James of the FTC might not agree, but
Right.
if they come for me, they come for me. But I'm not going to stop until I get
I guess
reprimanded.
it's unfortunate that
It's scary,
you
though.
are not
It's
the one
scary,
yourself who deems what your content is appropriate for. Like,
Sure.
And
Under that law, it's sports. So does that mean John Boy, a huge sports guy, every time is he
Oh,
in
that's
trouble?
gonna suck.
That's
I love him.
It
Well,
was
it
sports.
wouldn't be, and I mean, let me rephrase that. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
Because common sense.
Well,
Right, he
It's
he
sports,
curses,
and he also
does everything.
curses in every single video, and it's not like a child-like sports video.
he's
It's
just commentating
he's breaking down plays
Yeah.
in major leagues. Now, technically, like you said, someone can look at it and be like, sports are for kids.
right.
Someone
Exactly.
can have
Because
that
you have
viewpoint.
to
60-year-old
trust,
Ella.
which means you don't trust at all. That one of these people is
Fitzgerald.
actually going to take the time to view this content. You know they're not. You know there's going to be millions upon millions of channels they have to look through. So they're going to see quickly, sports, boom, deemed for kids. Combo characters, anime, boom, deemed for kids.
Yeah.
They're not going to look at the channel and see, hey, we have an After Dark podcast here that is clearly not for children whatsoever. They're not taking the time to watch that.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just automatically deeming something.
What's gonna happen is they're gonna go after, I think, a big YouTuber, and I think that big YouTuber is gonna fight back, and I think it's gonna be a very ugly case.
Absolutely.
And
It's
then
gonna settle
we'll see
eventually.
what
Yeah,
happens.
I
It
think
will
it's
settle.
gonna
Because I think it infringes on free speech to a degree.
I think they're gonna
Kind of, yeah.
end up
Well, it's a
like
pro-
amending the law.
it is a private.
I think they're
business,
gonna
right?
change.
YouTube, yeah.
They can do
Either
whatever
change
they
the law
want.
or YouTube has to change how they handle it.
You have to
It's-
remember with free speech, it's never free.
Well, it's
Yeah,
never
it's
free.
There
You
is
Yeah.
can't-
many,
Right.
many things
There's a lot
that,
of clauses,
that
you're right.
happen every
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
that your rights are taken away in that
No,
regard.
you're right.
That's more and more what it's becoming in this country.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's shitty, but we'll see. You can write in. I wrote in. I know you wrote in.
Yeah, I wrote in.
It's
So-
like net neutrality, man, all over again.
Yeah, net neutrality, Article
Honestly.
13, and I believe we got that either stalled or repealed. So this is a little more insane, and hopefully it'll calm down. December 9th, I
Well,
think is.
I would say that was more insane because that was on a larger scale. This is
Yeah.
YouTube centric only. So
Right.
like that
Although
was the entire.
I read that this is precedent for the FTC to do this to the whole internet.
But it starts
This-
here though, and the
starts
net
here.
neutrality
This-
was
this-
everything in one blanketed shot.
Yeah,
Right.
YouTube
Yeah.
is the battleground for what is to come for the rest of the internet.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I mean, they got to revise it. They wrote it in *98.
Right.
The internet was like
It's just
barely
so-
a
it's
thing.
just
Yeah,
so
it was
And,
barely
if,
even a-
and you know
Just
what?
so
At the end of the
vague,
day,
man.
it's scary, but YouTube has to be the most careful because they do something like this and it restricts content creators. You know
They're
where those
gonna move.
content creators are going to go? Somewhere else.
Yeah.
And your
True.
entire platform and your company goes right
A
down the
new
tube.
platform will pop up.
You end up
brand new
becoming a
platform will pop
MySpace or
up.
something else, and you don't exist anymore. So
Yeah.
I would play it
Like how
very
TikTok
carefully
tried
if
to
I'm them.
replace Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to be careful.
It's doing pretty good
Junko
job, though.
did say, does that mean Dylan won't open packs anymore?
No.
I really.
Because that's
You do that very
card
rarely.
style.
It's
so-
card style. I do that very rarely, but I mean, I would like to think that my channel will not be the first to be made an example of. There's no way they're
Highly
gonna,
doubtful.
My channel barely shows up in the search engine nowadays, especially because there's no Yu-Gi-Oh show. Like my channel is practically dead right now, so I'm not too worried. I don't think anyone from the government is going to come across my channel.
Can't
If you
kill
type in
something.
Yu-Gi-Oh, there are plenty of other creators that they're going to find ahead of me, and I am completely okay with that. And we'll see what happens. I'm very confident that I will not be made an example of first.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's the risk, but I'll play off that risk, and we'll see what happens.
Well, in Game of Thrones, they say, "What is dead may never die." So if you're already dead,
He's right.
you
True.
can't
It's
take it down.
scary times, but
That was good. That was
Thank
good.
you.
It's the
It's a dead
classic saying of YouTube is becoming you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
that's
and
YouTube.
that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah. We'll see. And yeah.
You just give power to platforms like Vimeo. That's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
That's something that's growing.
Well,
it's in the very basic stages. That's what you do.
Well, other platforms, other video sharing platforms, and lawyers are licking their lips. There are going to be, I think, some lawyers that are poised to become very, very well known and wealthy after all this settles.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They are licking their lips, and I think it's too vague to really impose one way or another.
How can you force a law from 1998 when that was the infancy of the internet?
Right.
Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You have to look at today's
I think it'll be
society.
updated. I think there's too much clapback for them not to update it or just kind of stop it at some point. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, but we'll have to just play.
Yeah, it might get ugly, but we'll see. So anyway, let's start. Top 5 characters.
That's what you
Right or
came here
no.
for.
That's what you guys came here for. Sorry about the early rant. I'm sure that will be a discussion that goes on quite a bit. But just for the record, until any legal action actually gets taken against me or someone similar to me,
We're going at full force.
yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Coppa your
So
balls.
even, I mean, I am prepared to even go
It's okay.
to court if I have to.
He's not.
So
Yeah, put on your court suit.
You gotta get it right.
I have some
Make a
connections
piece, or you both
in
fight.
terms of lawyers, so
Fight the
it's all
power.
good. So we'll see what happens. It'll be a fun ride. Pete, kick us off. Top 5 characters.
You always do it. I do. You do that every time on the
Every
show.
time.
Let's see.
So
I will say this: our top 5 characters,
very similar.
all 4 of us, are extraordinarily similar. There's only 7 total characters that we used for these
Hey.
top 5,
That's beautiful, dude.
which is insane.
But like stuff for the show being spoiled.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, brain.
Yeah, because everything we say right now is going to be a spoiler.
You won't
But
remember
I mean,
by
it's,
the time you get there.
and it's only just it's characters.
It's characters.
So it's just
You won't
it's
remember.
just
Fine.
characters.
It's all
It's
good.
fine.
No, it's snooze. So I had a few honorable mentions, but I'll save those for later. So definitely number 5, I put Akira Zeisen. This is a character that I debated back and forth because unlike probably Nick T or Dylan, like he's not been like this huge favorite character for me throughout the show.
Same.
However, when you're doing a list like this, and when I really started thinking about it, I was like, there's no way I can't put him on it because he had incredible development and incredible time on the show. Now, yes, I wish we saw him duel more, definitely. But in terms of his arc that he went through from before the show starts, of what he did after his parents died, of to take care of his, half or stepsister and Aoi, and the sacrifices that he had to make that you see in those flashback scenes. And then you go to present day of being the lapdog of Soul Tech, rising your way up, gaining a little bit more power basically every season to end where he did at the top of the company. I think that there's no way you can't mention this man in top 5 characters. And even his duels that he had, he was incredible, I think, in his skill. I think he had a lot of things to say and points where you make him think, especially when he dueled Yusaku. We were like, maybe he's kind of right here. And then you finish it off with, them tag team, a 2-on-1 duel against I there. I thought that was a great way to kind of end his character, and he's definitely one of the top 5.
Yeah, loved Akira. Nick T, number 5.
Number 5, Kusanagi. This really all stems from an affinity I've had for characters that are sort of your guy on the sideline. When everyone else is in the VRAINS, Kusanagi's your guy at the computer there, doing everything he can to ensure the safety and guidance of his friends.
Yeah.
And on top of that, just as a character, he's been a great friend to Yusaku for as long, how long now? Years. I mean, ever since.
Really his only friend.
His only friend. And, he's been a great brher. Like, everything he's done since the beginning of the show, really motivating to sort of do for his brother. To get his brother out of, said depression and to actually save him. He paid the ultimate price at some point to, save his brother. And I admire that greatly. That's really all I have to say about it. I just really enjoyed him as, the best friend, the good brother, the guy on the, on the sidelines there cheering his friends on.
Yeah, he was a good dude.
Likable too.
Yeah,
Very-
he never
very
did
likable
anything that made me
character.
dislike him.
He was
Yeah.
definitely an honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
He was 6 for me. Like
Yeah.
if I had a 6,
Yeah,
He because again, I did my top 15. He's 15 for me.
Wow.
So he's kind of out there, but honestly, the characters that are like 9 to 15 are so movable for me.
Yeah.
That's the big reason why I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a top 15. I don't normally do it because it's a lot of extra work.
Yeah.
But like, there's just
But
so
it's
many.
the end of a show,
My
you know?
top 5
Yeah,
is
yeah. And there's
Same.
like, there's just so many characters on that bubble of like the top 10 that I was like, let me make it 15. So he did make it at 15 for me, yeah. But
Alright.
for me, he just wasn't present enough. But no, I respect it.
No, thank you.
I
I
respected
respect your decision.
Wow.
I respected him being the support system.
Sure.
But I think he should have had, as one of the main people there, especially in Yusaku's camp, the main person, he should have had more time to shine. And not necessarily even that, he had to duel more. It had to be more in the sense that he needed more moments out in the real world and not sitting in his hot dog truck.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's
That's
why
fair.
I couldn't put him in that top
That's
5.
fair.
Especially also, you could have put him there if like they didn't do what they did to Jin, and he had way more interaction of building Jin back up as a person,
Yeah.
and
Right.
kind of rehabilitating him. Then maybe that could have been there.
Yeah,
Right.
because Jin kind of just went from nothing to normal.
To just
for
hey,
us,
we
and
need 2
yeah.
more hot dogs, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it shows that he progressed, but it didn't show the progression, which is understandable. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess
Ciao.
I'll
Take it
go.
away.
My number 5.
Has it been said already?
It has been said already. It is
Bless
also
you.
Akira,
Bless you.
and I mean mostly to Pete's point. Bless you, by the way.
Thank you.
I mean, a lot of the points were already made by Pete, but I think, especially for me, remember when we did the overrated and underrated characters?
Yeah.
Who
you
did
said-
I have?
You said he was overrated.
I said Akira was overrated.
Yeah.
And
Now he's on the top
he
5.
developed so well, he made it into my top 5.
I love it, dude.
And I think it's just
I
because
think he's overrated.
because he was there, but he wasn't doing much for a lot of the show. I
Sure.
felt.
Yeah.
But he went through a lot, and like Pete said, with like basically raising Aoi himself because their parents died in a car accident, like everybody else's parents, and even his dueling style, his deck was really cool. It was really different. It was actually kind of dark, I thought, which was kind of awesome.
Yeah, I really like his
And
deck.
and again, like the tag duel at the end, he was fighting to the end for what he believed, and he was on the wrong side of so many things when he didn't want to be. Like when Queen was in charge, she was kind of telling him what to do, and you could see that like anger in his eyes where he was just like, I don't want to be a part of this. Like I don't want to help her out, but I'm put in this position where if I don't do it, I'm screwed.
Right.
And he kind of had to just stay his course until he could make something happen out of it. And
Right.
I think he developed really well.
I loved his moment where he's going against I there, and he makes the point of like, listen, I get exactly why you're doing this. I get that you were wronged and how messed up it is, but you also have to understand the position I'm in. I have all these people's lives to protect. This is why I have to go against you. It's not that I don't agree with you, it's just I have responsibilities.
Yeah.
And so like for me, that was like a moment of his character.
There was that
where I
mutual
like,
respect
wow.
between him and I.
You
They
know?
were both like,
He has a few of
Yeah.
those moments throughout
Yeah.
the show where, I mean, even him and Emma risking their lives when the whole Bowman duel was
Sure,
going on. Like
sure.
he has a lot of powerful moments that I could think of and point back to and go, wow, man, Akira, if you think from episode 1 to where he ended,
Yeah.
he's a really great character.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they finished his story, I
Yeah.
felt,
Mhm.
which is a big thing.
So yeah, I mean, I'll talk about Akira later. Little spoiler. Number 5 for me, who just made my top 5, is I. He's a character that I did not think actually would make my top 5 until the big twist at the end, until really the finale with his character. But I grew to really like and appreciate I. He was a character that really kind of frustrated me early on because I thought the humor was very annoying more than it was funny. But looking back on it, it was almost like unnecessary humor because the show really the entire way was a little too serious. It was so serious, and I try to picture how the show would have looked without the Dark Ignis, without I, especially in that first season. And man, it would have been a very just serious kind of dark, drabby season. At least he brought a little energy into
Yeah.
it that was humorous and comedic. And while most of it didn't hit for me, I still appreciated it, and there were some funny moments. Like I think of when him and Emma were drawing to see which card they would get, and he drew that fake trap ugly card, and he did the I mean it was Bam had sent me it because it was very similar to Burning Kingdom, that over like the top draw style. She's got tuberculosis. It's all good.
She's been hanging out with Arthur Morgan.
Arthur Morgan.
And so I really, and then of course the twist at the end. I mean, I loved it. It showed the depth
Yeah.
of his character. But he also was the key to moving the plot along
Yep.
more so than any other character
Yes.
because he had that amazing scene right after the Earth Ignis died, where
One of my favorite scenes in the show. I was
maybe
gonna
my
bring that up.
favorite scene, where he just gets so angry and he says, man, I'm really starting to hate humans too.
Yep.
And like
It shows a little bit of complexity.
yeah, and it shows the twist. And like he was always that character that we were like, is he good? Is he actually good? Is he evil? Is he gonna turn? And at the end of the day, he made the ultimate sacrifice. He knew that his existence would mean the death of his best friend, and so he set up a way where he died with his best friend. And I thought there was just a lot of depth. I thought his character was really solid. And, you know, not enough to maybe give him one of the top places, the top 3. But I really loved and I grew to like him a lot. And he makes top 5 for me.
He would have been like my 6. I was actually like because obviously a lot of these for me are pretty interchangeable. But I like was considering taking one character out, putting I in, and I just kept going back and forth until I landed at the list that I landed at. But I like just didn't make it, like barely didn't make it, because I did love him as well.
No, he was good. He was the character that there's another character on this top 5 that grew on me more than he did, especially at the end. But he grew on me probably the most out besides this one other character, which I'll get to. We'll do number 4s and we'll read donations.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Do you want me to start 4? We'll
Yeah,
snake
snake
it
it
back.
back.
Okay. Let me just clear my throat.
Draft
And thank you to everyone as well joining me. Actually, before I get into number 4, I do want to thank everyone who super chatted the last Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't do it in the beginning. So huge thank you to Matt Galaxia, Goosey Q, Yugioh, Shark King, Blue Maiden 28, Brian Ford, The Sox God, TNX Rail, Davis Enos, Melinda Phantom, Alex Verme, Axe the Road, Nicholas Horton, Underdeal 88, Patrick Karanjeet, Sean Pauly, Rex Kendricks, Bam 255019, Nelson Bell, Div Z, Betchbois, Light Melody VA, Haro, Flamingo, Jack Rhodes, and Darren Johnson II, and a new patron, Axe the Road, Emerald Tier patron, thank you, Axe, and to 5 new YouTube members, Donald Spro, I wrote that horribly, Flamingo, Blue Maiden 28, Kate Barney, and Axe the Road. Thank you guys so much. I really do
Can I tell you something?
appreciate it.
Sure.
I did it for the Cal emotes.
I literally knew it.
Let's go.
That is literally the only reason why.
he was doing one of the streams, I was like, wait a second. I was like, how does Kate have emojis right now?
Yeah.
And then when she
Nice.
totally became a member.
Yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
became a member just for the Cal emote.
I appreciate that.
So
And eventually the Pete emote.
with how
Yeah, forget the Nick
YouTube
T email.
is shaping up, especially maybe what'd you
I
say?
said, yeah, forget the Nick T email.
What-
No harm done.
Let's see, you can have yours
Everybody-
first, man.
He has his
Spam-
already.
I
You're
have
next.
mine
the
already.
Nick T emote
Spam
down
the
in the
Cal
chat.
emote.
No, Nick T, Nick T.
It exists.
Get a Nick T
Does it
emote.
really?
Yeah.
Get another one.
Everyone who is supported me like that, thank you so much, especially with what might change in YouTube in the future.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We'll be on
That-
Vimeo.
Yeah, we might be on Vimeo.
Thank
so
you.
thank you
I
guys very
appreciate
much.
that very much.
Back to the top 5 list. Number 4.
Thank you, Fireball.
What about Kate?
Oh, no, I said thank
Yeah,
you.
Oh, I didn't
thank
hear
you.
it, so I was like,
But I didn't want to do that. I feel like that'd be
No.
That would be
that'd be cross.
very uncomfortable.
Number 4 is
Yikes.
Soul Burner. Soul Burner, Caliber's
Wow.
guy, is
Wow.
my number
That's
4.
higher than I expected.
You didn't expect him to be in my top
He
5.
made the list.
He better be Cal's number 1.
So I know, I'd
You're
be
about to
stunned if
find
he's
out.
not. So Soul Burner is
Okay.
a character that grew on me probably more than any other character in the entire story of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. When he was first introduced, I didn't really mind him, and it's not entirely his fault. I didn't agree with the writing decision to give him a win over Aoi Zaizen, to give him a win over Go Onizuka. He fought very well against Blood Shepherd, but that invincibility factor of Soul Burner really was peeled off towards the end of his character arc. He suffered a devastating loss to Bowman, where not only did he lose to Bowman, but he lost Flame forever in that duel. He would have suffered a loss to Robapi. He didn't actually, he technically beat Robapi.
But he wouldn't have won.
Realistically, he would not have won. If that duel keeps going and Robapi doesn't, if that duel keeps going and Robapi does not short circuit, Robapi wipes Soul Burner off of this existence. And then he, of course, you got to give the dude credit. That duel against Revolver. I think it's that duel against Revolver that actually propelled him from just in maybe the top 10 all the way to my top 5. The duel against Revolver, the character deposition that he showed there, it was incredible. And ultimately, that duel was one of my favorite duels in the last few years, maybe. I just thought the topics and the themes of that duel were incredible. And that duel may have been the reason he propelled that high, but Soul Burner's number 4 for me.
Okay.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Pick it up, Cal.
So honestly, 2, 3, and 4 I could have put in any order,
Okay.
but my number 4 is Revolver, and I feel like that's probably low for everyone because I feel like a lot of people have, especially in chat, have been saying Revolver is number 1. That's Pete's guy over there. And I don't really have anything negative to say about his character. Like, there's no reason like he's number 4 because he has anything wrong with him. I think basically all the top 5 characters are characters that I love mostly throughout, except for Akira, who goes through the ranks. Good for him. But Revolver was always a good duelist, an interesting duelist to watch, fun to watch. It was, you never really knew what you were going to get. Like, you know how I would say like Blood Shepherd's duel style for me was so just like boring and monotonous and just kind of like one after the other. Like,
Yeah.
Revolver wasn't like that at all. He
No.
was, he was always had something up his sleeve, which is, almost something that you would see in like a main rival where they always come out with one more thing you don't expect, and then somebody has plot armor to beat that.
Yeah.
But as an overall character, he develops throughout the whole thing. He has to go through like being basically the main villain in the Knights of Hanoi, joins forces. You kind of see a light side to him, but he never really strays off of his like what he's going for. Like, his goal the whole time is, I don't care what happens, we're getting rid of the Ignis.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter who's involved, who's protecting them. And I think, again, his duel with Soulburner at the end was just...
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. Regardless of the result, I think that was a phenomenal duel.
I'm stunned you have him as low as you do, I gotta be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very surprised.
You just break your bracelet?
Yeah, totally fine.
We can find the
But
pieces
like
now.
I said,
It's
2
a
through
string
4 could have
bracelet,
been
it's not gonna go back
in
together.
any
It's
order
okay.
for me.
Yeah. Was there a specific reason you put him more towards the bottom of the 5? I mean, to me, top 5 is...
I think the 2 and 3 had more help in terms of plot development for me for the ending half of the show.
Okay.
And that's kind of why I put them up there more. And then my number 1, I think, had the most complete character.
Okay.
So.
We'll see about that. Nick T, you're number 4.
Number 4, Lightning.
Lightning,
My
okay.
favorite villain of the series. I mean, there was very little about Lightning I did not like.
Mhm.
I think if I had to highlight it, it's just him taking responsibility for things that he didn't need to take responsibility for.
Mhm.
But otherwise,
But that's what he did.
But that's what he. Well, yeah.
That's what they made him do.
That's they made him
It's
do.
hard
That's what
because
I mean.
there's sometimes where, like, it's not you
It's not
have
the
to blame
character's
the
fault.
character, it's the writer's fault, but, like, you
Yeah.
kind of
But
have to blame...
it reflects my opinion
Right.
on that character. But
Right.
otherwise, like, he was an incredible villain. I think his motivating force of being a failed like AI, essentially incapable of living with humanity. I don't know, something about that just spoke to me, and just the way he sort of prods at the characters, the way for the most part that he keeps his like cool composure, and down to like his dueling style and like kind of playing dirty. Like, that win that he got against...
Clean win.
The clean win
Yeah.
he got against Revolver.
Clear 100% win.
Absolutely.
Unobstructed
Of course it was a
victory.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why, does people not think it was a win?
Yeah, there's some people out there that think it wasn't a win.
Really?
Yeah, they tried to change the wiki page to say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that someone else won, but
The wiki page isn't actually the source. though.
no, it's not. It's
Oh.
not. It's not an actual source.
Oh, okay.
It was a draw, I mean.
Anyway, but no, I just loved Revolver. I think the aesthetic that he brought to Jin, I think he brought out the best in a lot of characters. He brought out the best in Revolver. I think he brought out the best in, not the best. It'd be dark to say he brought out the best in Jin, considering he possessed him. But like aesthetically, I think he made Jin look way cooler than he was.
He kept Jin relevant.
He kept Jin relevant.
As you keep going down this path, you're just insulting Jin further and further.
I mean, otherwise, Jin was a guy in a gray T-shirt, really sad about what had happened to him at the end of the day. But he made him like, how cool did Jin look when he was being possessed by, like?
Oh no, he looked cool as hell.
That's it. Case closed, people. I love Revolver. 4, that's done.
You forgot another great duel. Lightning versus
Lightning?
Spectre was also a
Oh
great duel.
yes, and I actually really liked that he like finally shows like some sense of emotion in that duel. The
Mhm.
fact that Spectre was actually able to like upset him and like crack
Yeah.
his like cool surface. I thought that was really cool. Because we've only ever seen him like stone cold for the most part.
Yeah.
To see him like get angry, I think was
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was scary.
Absolutely.
So Lightning's great.
Fair number
Blame
4.
Lightning.
And I
Hashtag
have a
blame
feeling Lightning will be appearing on people's lists a little later on.
He might.
Pete, what's your number 4, my friend?
Number 4 is I.
Okay, there we
This
go.
was someone that, to echo Dylan's statements, would have definitely not been in my top 5 if this was a season ago. But I think his progression, and I don't want to say that just that it solely relies on season 3 of why he's in the top 5, because he did have great moments. That Earth scene is not only great because it shows his complexity of sadness, of crying about it, of saying why they didn't have to go as far as they didn't have to do that, and then getting mad at humans for that whole scene. It's also a great revolver scene because he just does that smirk and just like, oh, see you around now. Is a good scene too. But Ai's character really, the season finales, I would say, are probably the most kind of poignant in my memory. I mean, even season 1, when you're going against the Tower of Hanoi there,
Revolver,
I thought he was excellent in supporting Yusaku in that duel. All of season 2 is really where he was starting to shine completely in showing his different kind of how he bounced off of each Ignis, particularly Flame, I would say. But even his conversations I think he had with Windy or Lightning, I thought were actually fantastic, even though they didn't really go head-to-head. And then seeing him progressive, I was one of those people. I was a critic, I was a skeptic of when he turned in season 3. I said, why? Give me a reason of why he did this. I feel like there hasn't been enough explained. And
You were on that boat for a while.
yeah, and it sucks that it took to really the last kind of 4 episodes, let's be honest, to kind of get to that point. But it was only like an 18-episode season. And for him to explain of what the simulations were like, what he saw the world potentially coming out with, and what he was willing to sacrifice, that he was going to die either way because he didn't want a world in which he was going to be the cause for the end of the world, and where his friend Yusaku would die in that. He would perish in that process. And so I think he showed a lot of vulnerability, I would say, throughout the duel. And yeah, he provided sometimes some very hit and miss humor. But there was also points too. I mean, that he kind of took me out of the seriousness of it, and he hit it. But one was really at the end when he was doing his whole chant to get his ultimate on the field, the combine of all the Ignis, and he forgets a word, and he goes, oh, and there needs to be 6 here in the chant. Like it's kind of very meta that he is in that moment because chants are just such a big thing in Yugioh. So, he definitely made my top 5 for a lot of those.
Yeah, I'm surprised because I know you did not. Like
No,
him in the
and
beginning.
he's someone that, especially in season 1, like before that finale, he was someone that I really found annoying. I mean, it was really Naoki and him were the 2 characters I found the most annoying in the show.
I hope we see Naoki on someone's list.
And oh god, and to know that he kind of backtracked and was behind it all, that you see how he has been from the beginning, that he's been watching Yusaku, that he's been progressing and kind of moving the chess pieces along here throughout. I thought it was really interesting.
Absolutely, I completely agree. So there's our 5 and 4 little taste of our full top 5. We'll take a break. We'll read some donations, then we'll get back to 3 and 2. Do honorable mentions, more donations, then we'll do number 1. Thank you to everyone who's here on your Tuesday evening, and thank you to everyone who has donated. It helps out massively.
Okay, so we'll start off with Patrick Karanjeet, donated $5 and said Revolver is my favorite. If he used Boral Sword and Boraload Savage Dragon against Lightning, he would have easily beaten him.
Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, probably 2 very good cards.
I mean, it's 2 things of one, you just have to draw it. It is
right. Well, those you have to make.
And 2, did he have Savage Dragon the whole time? Because I was under the impression that when he gives it to Yusaku, it's a card he made to specifically counteract the magic cards of the Ignis.
That's a good point.
Maybe he didn't make it up until
he might not have had Savage Dragon in that duel, Patrick. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change much. Him versus Lightning was great. I absolutely loved it. So thank you for the donation, Patrick.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, Boral Sword and Boraload.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, Yugioh donated $2.
Thank you,
said,
you.
If I don't see Go in top 3, I'm coming for you.
We actually had a conversation about this last night about how much and I see his point about how much he loves Go and why the humanizing fact characteristics about him. So I respect that. Yeah, we'll see though.
Well,
we'll see.
in the wise words of a very famous wrestler, I'm afraid I've got some bad.
I was gonna say,
dude,
are you sure you're watching not top 5 disappointments in the I didn't know if you were on the wrong stream.
I liked Go. Go made my top 15. Not gonna say where.
Well, it's because there's only probably about 17 characters in the show, so that's how he made it. But
no, I look. What they did with Go was
Go might
very
have made my top
risky, but I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
he was human.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
No, I didn't like him. as much to put in my top 5.
Exactly.
But I liked him.
Well, I'm not gonna divulge that information yet.
Right, don't divulge it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation, my friend. Thank you.
Dumont the Barian donated $5. Said, "Awesome shirt, Dylan. Have you been watching season 4 of MHA?"
Thank you, Duman. Yes, I have not watched the most recent episode. The last episode I watched was when Deku and All Might were talking about All Might's, fate, and they were in like the meadows that he was jogging. So that was, I believe, 2 episodes ago. But I've really liked the season so far. That overhaul scene with Shigaraki and the League of Villains. I mean, that was a great scene. So I binged the whole thing, not including the most recent episode, probably about like 5 or 6 days ago. That's what I like to do. I like to let episodes stack, and then I watch like 3 or 4 episodes at once. I've really liked it so far, and I've heard a lot of good things about this season from people who've read the manga. So I have been watching, and thank you for the compliments. Thank you for the donation.
Awesome. Minister of Gundam donated $5.
The homie. Oh, welcome, dude.
Matt, good to see you.
Matthew
Little bit.
Kennedy. A little bit late. He's normally the first donation, but he missed it.
But it's
It's
been a
okay.
while,
It's
though.
fine.
It's
You'll
been a
get back
while.
to it. Said, "Everyone watch Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans for the best Gundam ever. Gundam Barbados."
Thank you,
She nailed the
Matthew.
pronunciation.
Matt.
Love that dude.
I
Flipped
love
over
and
my
miss you,
words a little
Matt.
bit, but
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. Watch IBO.
You watch IBO. It's very good.
give me
It's very, very good.
just
I
a
agree.
Nixie, you
second.
finished it?
I did finish it.
Okay.
It was very enjoyable.
Highlight it.
I didn't
Truth be
think-
told, it actually took me a little bit, like a few episodes to really get into it.
Yeah.
But once you're in, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
You understand why Matt wants everyone to watch.
Exactly. You really do understand. It's fantastic.
He's the church,
He's the church.
Um,
Down with the no, just kidding.
Wow, that was a heretic. You're part of the
Anyway.
church.
I'm part of the church. I can't say that.
Spam those.
I just meant the
T's.
general, the general sense.
She's nice. Okay, so Bam donated $5. Said, "Fractured my ankle this weekend at a college
Oh.
soccer alumni game. Sorry to hear that. But this video makes up for it. Watch the rest after the gym because I can still do upper body."
Dude, he's still
I
got swag.
I
appreciate
love
the
that.
dedication.
I
Cal-
love that.
Caliber loves that dedication.
Wait, I also love the
Honestly-
fact I didn't know you played soccer. That's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
used to play soccer. Fun fact, I broke my arm when I was 19.
Fun fact.
We remember
and,
that.
And I went to the gym to do legs because our good friend at the time, Etienne,
Yeah.
would
He, as
only
we've been
would,
calling him lately,
would
for some
only
reason.
go to the gym if I went with him.
Right.
So in order to get him to keep going, I would go and do legs every single day with a full arm cast just
my
so that he
God.
could work out.
Also,
Number
another
one-
great Caliber story is he was playing soccer once. I believe it was in a school game, and he got hit in the head so hard that he
Got a
sustained a
concussion.
concussion.
And just talking like Yoda.
And he was literally talking like Yoda.
Concussion I might have.
Concussion I may have.
A
is
concussion
what he
I may
said.
have.
Caliber breaks his arm, and literally I go into Villa the next day because we used to work at the same pizzeria, and this man has
Dylan loves this.
70 signatures, all from women, on his cast. And that is a true story because he had.
He,
It wasn't
I don't think he had
even-
room for you, right?
And then he literally posted a picture of it on Instagram and was like, if you want to sign the cast,
Okay, that's false.
just reach
That's
out.
false, and the signatures came on New Year's Eve. Shout out
That's
to
true.
And it wasn't 70.
Why
It
should
was
I-
92.
It was
actually.
92, you're
Yeah.
right. Bam, I hope you feel better, dude. I'm glad we can make you feel a little better, man. That really is
How'd
rough,
you
but
fracture it though? Like, did someone slide tackle you,
Yeah, it
or
was
you
probably
just
Did
like
you
probably
fell
just,
the
like,
wrong
did you,
way?
Did you roll it?
Such
Oh
a
God!
Dude,
We
that
love you,
is
man.
So dope.
All right.
I'm not a Chad.
Matt,
I love you,
Minister of
Sam.
Gundam came back and donated $10.
My
wow,
God.
jeez.
Said,
I love
"Hi
him.
everyone, you're all awesome." And Nick, anytime you get the chance, if you want to talk about Gundam, I'm totally up for it. And we definitely have to play Gun. Why can't I say that today? Gundam versus. When you get it, I call Barbados.
I hope to get it soon. Money's been tight. Time has been tight, honestly. But I would love to chat anytime, very soon. This week, maybe.
Oh,
Matt, thank you for the donation again.
And
That
Matt
is-
is
that's-
awesome as well.
It's gonna.
Yes, Matt is awesome. That's a very hefty donation, so thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
you're awesome.
You are awesome. Thank you.
I just want to take a pause real quick. I thought the blender was my laptop, and I was very
Overheated.
concerned.
No,
Yeah.
No, great.
That's how my old laptop
'Cause this thing
sounded.
is, like,
it was
10 years
exactly
My
old.
old
like
one.
that.
My old one did that too.
This thing is very
That's
old.
right. I do have a date
Oh.
with Sam tomorrow.
Ooh.
We're watching Code Geass.
Okay.
You have a date.
Minister of
Yeah,
Gundam
good
came
guess.
back. Matt came back and donated $5. Said his top 5 is. I'll
Read-
read it backwards.
Yeah, read it backwards. Okay.
5 is Soul Burner, then
Okay.
Playmaker,
Okay.
Lightning, I, and Revolver.
Okay, I mean that's very similar to mine.
Yeah.
Very similar to mine. There's one that's different, but
Definitely one that's different.
that's a good top 5. Yeah, love it, Matt. Thank you for sharing, dude.
We have Lightning in the same list.
Yeah. Good. That's a good top 5. I mean, they're all good top 5s, but
Yeah,
it's very.
realistically.
there's no-
I mean,
there's no bad top 5.
bad top 5.
Well,
It's similar
well,
to mine.
If
Similar
it's
to mine.
Naoki 1 through 5.
That's a great
That's
list.
an amazing one.
You came back and donated $5.
Okay.
He gave us his top 10.
Top 10.
Oh,
okay.
dang.
Yeah.
You keep
Let's hear it.
prepared.
Thank you.
I
Let's
think
backwards.
there's one name I might not. Actually, no, I should be okay. So it's 10 is Yusaku,
Okay.
9 Kusanagi,
Okay.
8 Aoi,
Okay.
7
No,
Blood
we-
Shepherd,
Okay.
6 Akira Zaizen,
Okay.
5 Revolver,
Okay.
4 Spectre,
Okay.
3 Flame,
Okay.
2 Soul Burner, and then 1 Go. And how did
Go Onizuka.
Anuzuka?
Onizuka.
Okay.
Go is
that-
just Go
that's
is
what I
fine.
thought I would
Go is
do.
Go.
Yeah, I mean he's a big Go fan, so it doesn't surprise me that he hasn't been one. Flame top 5 is
I'd just
interesting.
be interested to talk to him about, and not taking any shots at you. I know I was joking earlier of like, why? Like, I just feel like Go, for me, and I think for many people, he just didn't do enough.
He did have one of my favorite lines of the show though, and it's right after Soulburner defeated him,
Yep.
where he goes, "You either use that loss to springboard and become a better person,
Yeah.
or you let yourself rot from the inside." And he rotted. I mean, that's basically what he was foreshadowing, that he was going to rot.
Yeah.
And then we see him. So I loved that line, and I do feel like he is very human, and it was a very typical
Right, but if
human
you're gonna
reaction.
take that path, I feel like you should take that path for the rest of the show. For him to randomly turn
So
back
you didn't like
ag-
the redemption at the
No,
end?
because like if you're gonna go that path, I didn't mind him taking the evil path because I understood that it was ego, it was vanity, it was all that stuff. That's total human characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
To then have no build up, bang, switches on a dime back to his old self, has one duel, which I thought was pretty good against and then that's it for the rest of the show. I just feel like that was very rushed and undeveloped, and that might speak more towards the end of the show and how there wasn't a lot of episodes, but still, I thought that writing choice was incredibly odd.
Well, while I liked Go, I was definitely in the minority.
Well, I feel like the issue I took was not the fact that they attempted a redemption arc, but was that they didn't fulfill it.
Yeah.
I think it is human the fact that he went down a dark path and then lost himself and tried to find redemption. The issue, I think, is that they didn't have enough time, or they decided not to finish that.
Well, there were a lot of characters at the end that got shafted.
Exactly, that's what I
And-
mean. So,
and
like,
there were a
the
couple
issue isn't the
characters-
attempted redemption. I think that was the good thing.
Yeah.
It's good to see, or not good, but it's good. I think cool to see him. That's what's so humanizing. He's this hero of a sense, and then gets lost down a dark path, and sees the error of his ways and tries to redeem himself.
Yep.
If that was finished, that would have been the perfect
Right.
human condition,
Right.
which unfortunately did not. And I think that's in part. You explained it really well, and he has a good defense for it. I highly recommend you talk to him about it. It's
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to him about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there were 2 characters that were surefire for my top 5 that did not make my top 5 because of what happened at the end.
of course.
And
I know.
Soulburner and I getting thrusted into it instead. So, how a character concludes is very telling. But thank you for sharing, man. That was fun to listen to.
Patrick Karanjeet came back and donated $5.
Thank you,
with
Patrick.
His list. His top 5. 5 is I. 4 Soulburner, 3 Akira, 2 Aoi, 1 Revolver.
It's got Howie very high.
Wow.
I like that. I like
I
Howie a
like
lot.
that.
Yeah, it's a good list. I think Howie being, everyone has like 1 or 2 uniqueness to their list.
Yeah.
You'd had 2. He had Flame and Go in his top 5.
Yeah.
You're not going to find that in many people's top 5 lists, I believe. And that one, I don't know if you're going to find Howie's eyes in many people's top 5s either. I loved Howie.
Loved Aoi just.
And she was one of those 2 characters that
Yeah, and she
was
yeeted
I thought
herself out.
She got yeeted out of the top 5. Not by much.
Yeah.
She'll be an honorable mention for me, but she's out of my top 5.
Yeeted right on out of there.
Yeeted out. But Patrick, thank you for sharing, man. That's awesome.
Anonymous anime lover is here.
Oh, jeez.
Of course.
Donated $20.
Thank you so much. Jesus
She
Christ,
gave
thank you.
her top 5 characters.
Okay,
Um,
I'm actually very interested in this.
Okay, so hold on.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Characters
I'm
and
here.
reasons.
I'm here. Thank you.
You're
Okay. Number 5 is Soulburner because friend.
Okay.
4 Revolver rival. 3 is I or Dark Ignis as a helper. Number 2 is Playmaker for main protagonist, and number 1 is Aoi or Blue Maiden for girl power.
Love
Hell
it.
yeah.
Love
Which
it.
I am
Yeah.
Love
very big fan of.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, I like Aoi, and if it was my top 5 favorite characters, Aoi probably is top 5. I try to do it objectively.
Yeah.
But like,
Only one I have the problem with that I want more explanation, Anonymous, is Yusaku. To me, you can't put a character into the top 5 just because of the main protagonist.
yeah.
To me, you have to show.
Well, Yusaku
enough
so
as
far
their
has not been on
development.
anyone's list.
No,
so I'm
and
interested
I
to
think
see.
right there that's telling, right?
Yeah,
and
well, he might be in the top 3 for someone.
right. So
It
we'll
could be
see.
someone's number 1 for
We'll
all
see
we
the
know.
rest of it, but like, I don't know. I just think you need more.
Yeah.
There.
Ultimately, though, I feel like that was a good list.
It was a good list.
Yeah.
Much
Anonymous,
respect.
thank you for that massive donation, and thank you for being great. Appreciate it, and sharing your list.
She donated another $10.
Okay.
Well,
Jeez.
$10
Yeah.
to give 6 and 7.
Okay.
So her
We'll
number
read that.
6 is Kusanagi for behind the scenes.
Okay.
That's what
Kusanagi.
she explained.
Okay.
And 7 is Akira for protective older brother.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Akira's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love Akira.
I'm glad Akira made top 7 at least. Have I even said Akira? No, I haven't said him yet.
Kusanagi's the guy in the chair. Now. He's the guy in the
He's
chair.
the guy in the chair. He was on Nick T's top 5, so that's fair.
He's on mine.
Thank you for further expanding. I love hearing people's lists.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
Yeah.
It creates a conversation because
Yeah.
everyone sort of
Yeah.
has it.
And it's
in a
different. It's like the same but different.
Well,
at the
that's
same
what.
time.
There's always
Exactly.
uniqueness.
It's
Like,
generally
Yeah.
like the same, like
Uniqueness
8
to all of it.
characters in a.
yeah, I haven't. Besides Go being that high on Ute and even Flame being there, we haven't seen
Yeah.
any like shockers in the top
No,
5
yeah,
so
yeah.
far.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Which
Just you
there's
wait.
nothing wrong with. It's just you wait. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Take a couple more before we get back to it ourselves.
Okay. Sounds good.
So
So
we do 3
Jack.
more.
Yeah, I would definitely 3 more.
Okay.
Jack
Good
Rhodes donated
number.
$5. Said, "Hey Dylan, fun." So I don't know.
Altered.
Fun fact: Altergeist is one of the top 5 meta decks,
Yeah.
along with Salamangreat.
Salamangreats, yeah.
Nice.
Sound great.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, thank you for the donation. Yeah, the one funny thing with VRAINS is it's one of those shows where, like, not every deck, a lot of decks that were used in the show were very lethal in the actual TCG, which you do not see too often with anime decks and then TCG archetypes being top tier. Salamangreats were meta. I think there still are meta. Altergeists. Gokis for a while were not pure Gokis, but you throw in that Firewall Dragon, that made any deck meta. And I mean, it was even Aoi's Aizen's archetype, not Marincus. Trickstars, they were very prevalent in the beginning stages. So it's pretty crazy how many anime archetypes were like meta and top tier in the TCG. It is
You love to
crazy.
see it.
You love to see it. Jack, thank you for the donation, my friend.
Next dono is from Elizabeth W. She
Liz.
donated
Oh,
$5.
Lizzie. Thank you, Liz.
She said her top 5 characters from VRAINS are 5 Robopi/Lightning. They were tied.
Okay, Robapi top 5. That's,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's a unique one.
4 was Aoi Aizen.
Okay.
3 Playmaker. 2 Revolver. 1 Eye.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah. That's.
I like the Robopi because like she's like always there. I feel like she's always playing, even if it's like a very minor role with like with I when they're like just bickering back and forth.
Yeah.
And then she like comes into the limelight in the last season.
Yeah.
For a few duels, a few
It's
episodes.
definitely a
where-
unique one. She had a great duel.
He's always like present in some.
Yeah, yeah.
Omnipresent in some way.
I thought, she definitely for me assisted I's
I know.
character and Playmaker's character really well. I didn't have her in my top 15, but yeah, I mean that's completely fair. Completely different characters resonate differently. Liz, thank you for
You
sharing.
got that right, Bubba.
What?
Take a couple more. And then we'll get 3, 4? Okay.
Yeah, give me just a sec.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for the comments. I always go back and read the comments, so I will read them. I promise.
You just looked at me weird. And then I was like, what?
I just looked over at you. You were staring at me. That's why
No,
I looked at
I'm
you.
looking.
He's
Just
waiting for
looking
you
at
to
Nick
read.
T's phone.
Okay. So Anonymous came back, donated again.
Okay.
$100.
Jeez, oh man.
That's not actually real.
That's
It
real.
is.
It's
That's
real.
right.
It's
Green
so
and
real.
Yeah.
Very real.
Holy shit.
This is not kid
That's not kid
friendly.
friendly.
Thank God.
No.
Not for kids.
The FCT's coming for that money. Let me tell you something. Holy shit. Anonymous, thank you so much.
Well-
Seriously, thank you so
Wow.
much. That's literally wow. That's one of the bigger donations I think I've gotten in the last like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, Anonymous, that's fucking nuts. Thank you.
There it is.
Jeez.
Now you can read the
What she
donation
said.
after
Yes,
doing
yeah.
that.
Now let me read what
Thank
she
you
said.
so much, Anonymous. Jesus Christ. Yeah, read what she said. Yeah. Oh,
So she
God.
said, "Hi, Dylan, Kate, Cal, Nikki T,
Mushy.
Megan, and Pete. Shared my list earlier, and thanks for the shout out for the Yuzu video. So I saw it earlier. I really didn't know how completely different Yuzu was in the manga. I only knew about being the mom of the U boys.
Yeah, she was. You know, she was definitely more. She was definitely more like Naoki role in terms of comedic relief. Maybe not as annoying. Some of the comedy she brought. There were a few people in the comment section of that Yuzu video. I did an anime versus manga analysis of her. Uploaded that today. There were a few people in the comment section who preferred the manga version of Yuzu. I mean, I don't at all, but hey, some people like their comedic relief. She was a good cheerleader. I don't use the word cheerleader as an insult. That's just what the role she had in the show was, similar to Kotsuri in Zexel. But Anonymous, thank you for that video suggestion. Thank you for that insane donation. Thank you so much. You are an absolute angel, and
You're the best.
yeah, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
As always.
Jesus.
You want to do a couple more, or
Good to
I think it's a good spot to switch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get back to the list, and then we will read the
We'll
rest.
do the next 2 and then donos and then number 1.
Yeah.
I feel like that was what we did last time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna read 3 and 4 on our lists. Then we'll
3
do
and 2.
3 and 2. Then we'll do some honorable mentions.
Dylan's all out.
And then we will, I'm just, again, when you
It's
gotta...
Anonymous' fault.
very.
She did it.
Ugh.
I don't know. I got
flustered.
I got flustered reading it too. Like even
No,
saying
it's
that.
insane.
How do you think I felt when I had BAMs?
Oh my.
When I had
That
to
one-
read
that
I was
one-
like,
The
there's no way
500.
that's not right.
I think about that probably. like,
One of my favorite reactions of all
I think
time.
about that a lot.
I think about that a lot. Yeah.
I remember
I
when
hope we see
it
him.
popped up, seeing your face on.
Oh,
Yeah, because I had to keep cool until we got there.
Fucking
Yeah,
nuts,
and then
man.
he looked over to me and was like, "Everything okay?"
Yeah, I'm like,
You're
good,
"Yeah."
good, definitely good.
It's alright.
Yeah, you guys honestly are amazing, and especially with this new stuff coming up, I know I can really. It's thanks to you that I know I can keep doing this in some capacity, even if I can't make traditional videos and every review has to be in this style, even if it's just me speaking. That's what it'll be, because that if you don't use thumbnails with cartoon characters or animated characters on it, and you don't use pictures of animated characters,
Yeah.
I don't think they can get you for anything.
I also
If
don't.
the thumbnail is me, like into the camera, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 Episode 1 review, and it's just me speaking like this,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think they can get me for anything like that.
Who's to say what tools they're using?
Yeah,
it's hard
we
to
don't
say.
know.
It's very hard to say.
True.
Is it, right.
I don't want to kill your optimism, but it's hard
Yeah.
to say.
We're in scary times.
I'm optimistic.
So we'll just have to keep my
I'm
money.
optimistic that what I'm doing now is fine.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
So, we'll see. Anyway, happier things. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. What's next? All right, 3 and 4. Sorry, I'm just Pete. Sorry, number
2
3.
and 3.
So who
2 and
gets
3.
your
3 and 2.
3 and 2, technically.
My bronze medal.
You got my
Me too,
bronze medal.
Bronze medal
Bronze
is
boy.
Caliber's boy, Soulburner.
Boy.
Yeah, and so this is another character that I would say that was not in my top 5. Maybe I would say at the probably halfway point of season 2. I was
Yeah.
like, he wins every time. What kind of depth is this character? Like, he's funny there, but like I like Flame way better than him and
Right.
his counterpart.
Right.
But as the show went on, really arcing up to his duel against Bowman, I was like, wow. Like, I see the depth of this character. I see that the loss that he went through in his life, how that has impacted him, how he lashed out at Revolver when they had their duel where, Revolver was just letting him win. And then I thought it said more about Soulburner that he stopped the duel and was like, I'm not going to win like this. This is not going to be satisfying whatsoever. You're not even trying. This is not going to fix anything about how I'm feeling. And his relationship with Flame throughout the series, especially, I thought it was very highlighted in the Windy duel that Soulburner and Windy went against each other, where I felt that him and Flame had a nice kind of back and forth to power through that duel, to defeat someone that was very powerful, and then getting all the way up to the duel there against Bowman. Yeah. That would probably be number 3.
No, I like it.
I mean, and then obviously the Revolver stuff was amazing.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that clinched
amazing.
it. Soulburner gets your bronze medal. Who else is getting a bronze medal?
Nick T.
Revolver.
Okay.
Yeah, number 3 is Revolver. I didn't want to put him as low as I did. You'll find out why. But he had one of my favorite character arcs of the entire show. Starting from our pretty much our main villain. If you don't count Dr. Kagami, Revolver is our starts off as our main antagonist, and to see him go from antagonist to anti-hero to protagonist in a sense, or side protagonist in a sense, it was really cool. And they did it such a fluid way. There was nothing about Revolver I disliked. Nothing. I loved his duel style. I loved his character, his quips. He was so quick-witted and smart. It's just really hard to put into words how much of an impact I think he had on all the characters in the show. Soulburner being most of all, I think. That final duel really highlighted that, where he just pushed him to the edge to really change his life forever. I think he was the best character for the job, and I just love him.
Okay, that's fair.
I wish he had more scenes with Aoi, now that I think about it.
He had very few.
Yeah.
It was very limited. I would like to see that.
It would have been interesting to see the
Just how that would have worked.
the dynamic between the two of them. But no, Revolver. I think Revolver deserves any love.
Yeah, fair. Calibro, who gets your bronze?
So my number 3, the bronze medal, is the man himself, I. And I think I'm one of the few people that actually enjoyed I's character in the beginning of the show. Yeah. As you guys all were like, oh, he's so annoying.
I was never against I.
No, Nick was always neutral. Neutrality.
Yeah.
Neutrality.
No. But I always thought that the comedic relief was really needed. And like you said, if you really think about that first season without it, it's kind of a dark, dreary show.
Going off of that real quick, I feel like I would not have watched as much as I did so far if it wasn't for...
Well, he's like the Olaf of VRAINS, so I can see why you like him so much.
Yeah, kind of, actually.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, no, that's not an insult.
Yeah.
And I think overall his development, he was the storyline, basically.
Yeah,
if you
I
really
agree with that.
boil it down, he was so important to everything because obviously all the other Ignis got taken away. He was the last one. And he was the one character that progressed the story from season 2 to season 3. If you don't have this change of heart, if you will, and switching sides, it's impossible to really get the story going to where it is. So I think overall he's very important to the story, and that's why I put him at number 3.
I mean, in saying that and going off of that, he literally opens the show and ends the show.
Yeah. He is the storyline.
Yeah. You could definitely argue that.
You can make the case that he is the protagonist of the show.
Sure. Yeah, that it's his story you're
watching. Just like Thanos is the protagonist of the first movie.
I mean, in Infinity War it is.
Yeah.
That's how it's set up.
I agree.
Also, wait, Dill, by recommendation, I need to do something special. Do you want to join me on this?
Yes, do it.
Okay. Uncle Wayne. Uncle Wayne. Uncle Wayne. Uncle Wayne.
Do you know about this?
I plead the fifth.
No, see, here,
Is he in this chat?
No, see, I got a text message from a number I don't know, and I'm just going to assume that it is
The
Uncle
text
Wayne.
literally says, start an Uncle Wayne chat, and then 5 minutes later, you know who this is.
Dude.
I, in fact, don't know who it is, but I'm going to assume.
So, Barrett's watching.
I love Barrett.
He was here earlier.
got an
I want to
Instagram
shout out
message.
Barrett. He posted this video on his Snapchat story last week where he's at, I don't know, like a restaurant. It's a painted woman at a bar. And he goes over to the ball and he's like, hey, that's my seat, so let's get out. And then he was like, no, that's no way to speak to a woman. I am incredibly sorry. And I lost it. I was dying.
He's like, there's something off with
It was
that man.
so good.
Wait, that's hilarious.
No, he's incredible. Kate and I are leaving Hula Hands on a Friday night, and I'm getting a FaceTime from him. And I'm like, what is this? And I FaceTime him, and it's just him and these 2 girls.
And Lorraine.
And Lorraine was one of them. And actually, no, Karina was the other, Dilphosaur.
People you know, yeah.
People I know. And they're all just there, just out of nowhere. Hey, what's up, man? What are you doing? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm in Hula Hands. It's like, oh, cool. So how's your night going? And I'm like, I can't talk.
We're literally finishing dinner,
Yeah, I
barely.
mean,
I love
it's
it.
just, he's
He's
incredible.
FaceTimed me a few times.
I love
What was the one Twitter thing that he did? he created like a Twitter account.
Oh
and
wait, he told me this on FaceTime before one of the streams where he had like a novelty account which was who cares, or no, it was literally just called like who cares, and like anytime like someone like would tweet something like like just stupid, he just like he would retweet it and be like who cares. It came out of like him doing this bit where like if someone said something he didn't care about, he'd be like, yeah, I think I saw an article on that in Who Cares magazine.
That's
And
what
it was so
Who Cares
good.
magazine. It's great.
Dude, it was
I was gonna say something I totally forgot.
Barrett's a genius, a comedic genius.
He's an insane genius. All right, I'll get to my number 3. My bronze medal is speaking of Barrett, Akira Zaizen.
Wow,
That's actually perfect timing, right?
Wow, look
The-
at that.
the-
See, what a transition.
dub voice.
Character that he voices in the dub.
That was good. That was really good.
Yeah, Akira is just one of my favorites. I wanted to maybe put him in even that one of the top 2 slots. I feel like number 3 though, for a character that dueled literally twice, is absolutely okay. Maybe I have him a little high. Maybe you can argue that, but I just loved his character, man. I thought he was an incredible brother. I thought in the beginning of the show he was a little strict, understandably so, but we see that growth. By the 20th, 30th episode, he understands that, all right, my sister is an adult. She's going to do what she has to do. I'm going to support her however I can. And then he had one of the... Sorry, I have an eyelash in my contact lens. Just going to take it out real quick.
Ooh.
Oh wow, live on
Don't,
camera.
don't take out one a contact.
The
No,
classic, I only have one contact in coming
So,
from Dylan.
it was bothering me. I'm
Back to
going to put it
your
back in after I
Dylan.
speak. It's fine, it's fine.
You-
It's fine.
He's reckless.
So, one of my favorite scenes that
Actually,
Akira Zaizen does, it's actually not dueling. It's when they're trying to stop Bowman and he's got to hit this button to
Yup.
get the machine off.
Iconic.
And it looks like he gets shot in the head and he's not going to make it. And
And he
then,
makes
they do a cut away from him and then they do a cut and his finger's on the button.
Yeah.
And the last will of his life,
Yeah.
he just
that
press
was
that
that
button.
was an amazing scene.
And the musical score during
Oh,
it, it was
awesome.
so good.
It was amazing.
And then the duel against I, you kind of alluded on it earlier, where he's like, look, I understand. Yeah, he's just very, I feel like he was very empathetic. He understood why people did what they did. And at the same time, he was loyal to his company. He understood that I have a lot of people that work under me. And even though I don't agree with what Soul Technologies is doing, employees have families to feed. We have people to support. And like, it sucks. I'm trying to help, but I'm a lapdog. I loved Akira Zaizen, man.
yeah.
I thought
Look
he
what
was
ended up
such a good
happening to those
character.
people when I took over, right? They
Yeah.
cleaned out the whole building and
Yeah.
kicked everybody out.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was trying to prevent.
And just to see his growth, even with the caring about his sister, and
Yep.
to be a 16-year-old guy and have to take care of a young girl like that. And, he worked for the mafia. He did whatever he could to get by. Mad respect, man. Akira Zaizen, guy I want
Like I said,
to be.
he's one of those guys that in the beginning I was like, hey, he didn't really do much, and he grew on me like crazy.
He played
Absolutely.
for the most part for the good guys. Yes, was he talking to Go and the other bounty hunters because he kind of had to throughout Soul
Yeah.
Technologies? Yeah, because also he feared the Ignis as well. But you have to remember, he talked a lot to Yusaku. He talked a lot to Emma and Aoi outside
He
of
was
like,
connected
hey,
to everyone.
this is top secret network stuff going on in Soul Tech. How about you try this stuff on the side to kind of
Right.
remedy this situation?
Yeah.
So I always thought he was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was great.
He did what he was allowed to,
I
allowed to do.
lost my right contact lens, so I'll be doing the rest of the stream with one contact
Wait,
in.
you just had it.
I
Wake
had
up.
it, but it dried out. I tried to put it back
you
in,
tried to
fell
put
to
it
the
out,
floor.
It fell. I'm
Take
sorry.
So go take it upstairs and get solution.
I already rolled it up. It's been about 3 weeks. I'm supposed to change them every 2 weeks.
Yes, you are.
So,
Me too.
That's horrible for your
I
eyes.
was
It's
supposed
not
to do
good
mine
for your
daily, and this is like day 4. So
Pete,
it's fine.
oh, that's good.
The
That's
irony,
horrible.
the irony.
Pete,
I don't want
your runner-up
Ooh.
for the
No.
best
Content.
character in the
Nice.
show.
You
No
know what?
one's Pete.
Oh wait, he's going right to me, dude.
Going right
Silver
to Pete.
medal,
Okay.
This is big, dude.
dude. Probably.
Don't break my heart.
I'm gonna break it.
Don't
Okay.
go break
Probably
it.
my favorite
bender.
villain in the series. It's Lightning.
Okay.
Lightning is number
Ooh,
2.
go break it.
Guys, if you've been watching this for a while, you know I love my villains. And just, yes, I love my Windies. I love my Bowmans. They're definitely honorable mentions. But Lightning being the one, whether wrong or not for writing, that caused pretty much everything. I thought his character was complex. I like, as Nick T alluded to earlier, that he was very calm throughout everything that's going on, right? He's very calm in that Blood Shepherd duel in one of my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
scenes.
It's cold.
When Kusanagi also comes in too, and he goes, "Welcome to our castle of light."
Dude.
I love that.
Yep.
And he takes out Blood Shepherd, who duels fantastically and doesn't put a scratch on him. And then you get to that Spectre duel, you see the cracks coming through, and Revolver breaks it apart. And even before Lightning, who does win the duel, you see how Revolver can affect him. You see the real reasoning that Revolver gets out of him of why he did that. And I love that it wasn't any complex thing. It wasn't even anything like Star Wars, like where like it's the Emperor just wants to be bad and rule over everything. It was because he was the only Ignis that was not functioning properly. He was defective. And he could not, with his own ego, accept that he is less than the rest of them. And so that's why he did everything. And I thought that was an incredible writing and a twist that I did not see coming whatsoever, because it was outside the niche, the norm of what you would think in these shows
You would think
as
he
the
would
villain.
be the superior one.
Exactly.
In reality, he was
and
not.
that's what everyone said, right? He was the superior one. I said that. He's the leader, right? He's the smartest among us. But it was really, he was the one that was most messed up. And Bowman had that great line to him where he goes, you know, after all, you were probably the most human Ignis out of all of them.
Right.
And I thought that solidified his character even more. And he was a fantastic duelist, a fantastic banter character, and I loved him for that.
100%.
I'm going to go...
Even his final message to I. That was even great, too.
Yep, I'm going to go next.
Wow.
Because I'm just going to carry it along. Lightning's my number 2 as well.
Oh.
As I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Nice.
Yeah, he's my runner-up. He was just fantastic. Something that I thought Arc 5 lacked. I mean, if you want to call Yuri a villain, fine. But Lightning was a main villain of the show. Maybe even bigger than Bowman was. And the only thing... And so, just going back to Arc 5, because I think since Vector, I don't know if they've really had that good of a villain in my eyes, but Lightning was one of the best villains that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has done in maybe the last 8-9 years. I absolutely loved... I think it was a mistake for the writing team to put so much blame on him, but blame Lightning. And what ended up happening was it just made him look that much more evil. It made him look that much more sinister and cunning and calculating. And the only thing I'm really going to add to what Pete brilliantly said was he gets the last laugh at the end. That message was fantastic to I, and he does get the last laugh. And you think you defeated him, you think you beat Bowman, you think you destroyed Lightning, but you really didn't, because Lightning gets what he wants. All the Ignis are on the same playing field at the end of the day. They're all dead. And so Lightning really wins at the end of the show. I dies. Playmaker is frantically searching for months for his best friend and partner. And Lightning, literally and figuratively, gets the last laugh.
That laugh at the end was so chilling.
I mean, I loved it. I thought he was an incredible character. And so he just misses out on number 1 for me, but he's number 2.
Agreed.
I'm gonna follow Dylan because, quite frankly, I also have Lightning at number 2.
Do you really?
Yeah. So I mean, I'll keep it short and
Wow.
sweet. Basically, everything that could possibly be said about Lightning has already been said.
Look at me, number 4.
I even think it's cool that in the end, when Ai's going back to that like cave that he had, it's still Lightning there. Like he still has like control, you know.
Yeah.
Like, he still has this like this piece of him is still in Ai.
He's ingrained in so much.
And like from being that one Ignis that is technically the worst or the one that was below all the rest, he had more control than anybody else. He turned Windy into something that he wasn't. We don't really even know what Windy was.
Yeah, what happened?
And I mean, it's amazing how big of an effect Lightning had on the whole show. And the only slight downside was that Lightning was blamed for Revolver's father's death.
Yeah, that was the only extra add-on.
Yeah,
he didn't need
he
that
didn't
motivation.
even need it. Like it added to his, I guess, his evilness as a character.
Yeah.
But he didn't even need it.
No, he didn't need it.
And that's like, he was so important, like in a way, to the plot. He helped move so much along. And I think that's just like an incredible importance in a character.
I love the way he used Jin throughout the series too, as this literal meat puppet of like he did not give an F about his partner whatsoever. Like yes, did he go to the degree Wendy did and literally kill your partner? No. But he did it in some ways even worse. Like I'll keep you alive in front of all your loved ones, and I'm gonna use you where you can't speak, and you are at my whim of how I want to use you. Even to the final duel of like, hey, remember his consciousness?
Yeah, he holds it
Boom,
against him.
here it is right here.
Yeah.
Do you want to kill me now, Revolver?
And remember when he tries to make an offer to Revolver and he's like, we'll put humanity in a very small corner of the world and you'll be left alone there.
Great. I'm pretty sure, now you correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure throughout the show he had some point where he was monologuing and he goes, oh, that's right, you can't answer me, he says to Jin.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he has a moment like that as well in the series. So like he was always great like that.
So I'm interested to see your number 1. I'm very interested to see your number one.
You'll find out
because you love Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
I know you love Wendy, and I know you love Revolver. So my bet would be one of those three. I have a feeling I know which one it's going to be, but I'm very intrigued to see what you pick and why you left the other two out.
Thanks,
of them.
man. But you know what I want to hear?
What?
Nick T's number 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, Nick T,
that's
that's what I was going to get to. What's your runner-up?
Akira Aizen.
Okay.
A character I've connected with since the very beginning.
Yeah.
If you go back in a lot of these Dylan's videos, I have been a very big fan of Akira.
Absolutely.
Every part of him, the fact that he's willing to do what it takes to help his friend. Like he goes against the company that he works for, the company that he's so loyal to. He's a lapdog for, to help people that he cares about. On the front of being a brother who would literally do anything for his half sister. It really spoke to me as someone who loves my siblings dearly and would do anything for them. Akira was the model character in a sense. I love it, and then even in the realm of dueling, I think his deck was one of my favorites. I think it was so creepy, it was so weird, and it really spoke to my niche interests a lot. There's so much that I like about Akira. It really is,
He was great.
And
I loved him.
his climb to the top of
Soul Tech.
Soul Tech. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was just meteoric. The fact that he was a lapdog the whole series, and then once Queen gets taken down, the only logical choice.
Let me say this about Akira Aizen. It's very hard for a character to make a big impact if they're not dueling that often.
Right.
Akira made all of our top 5s.
Yeah.
He made mine and your top 3.
Right.
Yep.
So that goes to
It's
show you
telling.
how good of a character he was.
Yeah, he was just so
how enjoyable he was to watch.
I would say he argued that he was one of the few characters that were well written since the beginning.
Yeah.
He I think was pretty instantly likable. He took insults like a champ.
And he's also a prime reason why dueling does not equal
relevancy,
and why dueling does not necessarily equal being an amazing character.
Oh no, not yeah.
Because
Well, that's why
unless
Kusanagi was
any of
also
us have Aoi Aizen as our number 1, which I have a feeling we probably don't, Aoi didn't make any of our top 5s, and I think we all liked Aoi.
And that's sad to me.
Great.
When
And
it
her
came
brother,
down to
who
it-
dueled twice, made all of our top 5s.
Yeah, it shows the impact he had.
Yeah,
But Nick,
that's
you
what it
said
is.
that he was a logical choice to take over once Queen was gone. Do you not remember Kitamura?
You know what?
Where is Kitamura on this
Yeah,
list?
so
You never know.
I would argue,
mention.
if Kinemura were alive, because he could be somewhere in a ditch right now, and maybe that's why
True.
he wasn't. We don't even know what happened. To
He
him.
probably died. Okay, so
I'm
there's our
very
number 2s.
intrigued for your number one.
Right.
I'm very intrigued for
I
all
thought
of our
Akira
number
was his
ones.
number 1, so I'm
You would
very
think.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. So I will say, Cal, you don't have Soul Burner. There's no way Soul Burner didn't make his top 5, so Soul Burner is going to be your number 1.
We don't know. We'll have to stay tuned.
Pete, I'm not sure.
You're trying to spoil now, bro.
I'm not going to give mine away
He
yet.
has his written down. He has them all.
You
written
can't
down.
remember 'em.
But he
I
doesn't
have mine written
ours.
down, but I don't know
He doesn't
yours
have our
guys'.
tops or
No. All right, we'll find out. We'll find out after this break, but I guess we'll read a couple more donations.
Right after this break.
All right, and then we will get into
Break
it.
is brought to you by Down.
We also have to do we'll do honorable mentions too, but after.
Yeah. So Pat Karen G came back and donated $2 and said if you're interested, watch Gundam The Origin.
Gundam the Origin. Thank you, Patrick. I will make note of that. You watched that, Nick T?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Watch Gundam The Origin.
The Origin.
Oh, I haven't yet. I know the story of it quite well, but I still need to watch it. I heard visually it looks really good. The books look really good. I need to watch. I love Char Aznavour, and that mostly follows him, so I will be watching it very soon.
Cool. Thank you, Patrick.
Minister of Gundam, so Matthew Kennedy came back, donated $5 and
Thank you,
said,
Matt.
Dylan, get Barbados emojis. I will send you some for use.
Yeah, send me them on the Discord, Matt.
That'd be
and,
cool.
Yeah, I'll put one in there. I think we need another, though, 6 channel members before I get another emote slot, so it might be a while, but...
Once it gets through us, maybe.
Yeah, once I get through all of them, Matt, I'll definitely add it. Or maybe I'll replace, the eye emote or something. That one doesn't get used often.
Yeah.
But thank you, Matt.
Neither does the Nick T one.
Neither does Nick T.
Wow. Spam those Nick T emotes in the chat.
I think we just need a new, an updated Nick T. That's from a picture from 2011.
I did that on purpose.
I know you did. Thank
There he
you.
is.
Fireball is my biggest fan.
Just wait for the Pete one.
Okay, so I need
So excited.
like 30 seconds. I think I
I'm
copied
also-
something
Can
twice.
you use the restroom just because?
I don't
Okay.
think
I
I
can't-
can
I
go
can't
back.
make
I don't
it.
think I can go back that
You have to
far.
go
You're
under,
fine.
buddy.
But I think you copied it twice.
I think I copied it twice, but did I skip one and think I copied
See?
that? I don't know.
Fluid.
That was beautiful.
What do you have as the next one?
Nicholas Horton.
You missed one then.
Okay. You want to read that one?
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. So,
Sorry.
anonymous anime lover donated another $10 and said, "Will Nintendo Switch game Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution update with all of the VRAINS duels after Yu-Gi-Oh 7 comes out? If so, I'm thinking about getting it maybe."
Great
I
question.
hope
Thank you,
so.
Megan, for catching that. Anonymous, thank you so much for another donation. Jesus. That's an amazing question, and I
A great
really
idea.
don't have the answer. I do not. I do have the answer as per what we know. I'm 99% sure we do not have any news in regards to any sort of DLC for the game or for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS in terms of that story being expanded. I think it would be very disappointing if the story did not get expanded in the campaign mode, especially when the game is named Link Evolution.
Yeah.
How are you going to have
Oh, that'd be
three?
great playing the Bowman duel.
Yeah.
Playing the Lightning Revolver duel.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
a lot of the other issue though is a lot of cards are not printed, and that game usually does not use, I think, anime exclusive cards, so
Yeah.
that might be a little tricky. But we'll see. The Arrival and the that Cyburst, the shooting code Cyburst,
Yeah.
they're both printed. They're both confirmed for
That'd
the
be great.
January pack. Yeah, but good question, Anonymous, and yeah, if it ever comes out, I will definitely buy it. I will definitely stream it. And thank you for the again very nice donation. Thank you.
I had something in my mouth.
No problem.
Nicholas Horton donated £2. So I don't know what order this in, but this is his top 5.
Okay.
Revolver, Soul Burner, Aoi, Akira, and Yusaku.
There's always one unique one. I think Aoi's the unique
Aoi.
Yeah.
one there. Although
Aoi.
Aoi's popped up in a few
Honestly,
top
Yeah.
fives.
honestly,
Popped
for
up in a
me,
couple.
and based on ours so far, Yusaku's been pretty unique as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Top 5.
yeah. It's rare for a protagonist not to make a top 5 list for me personally, and I was really expecting him to pop up on one of our top 5s. I have a very good idea of Calibro's. I have a very good idea of your number 1. It's really between 3, Playmaker not being one.
I have no idea who Nick
I
T's
don't
number
know
one
who's
is.
Nick T is.
Is it Queen?
Oh my
People
God.
are making predictions though in the chat of all our number ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so,
I don't know
so
what
keep
my
posting
problem
those.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm excited to go back and read that. I gotta tell you though, unless Nick T put Playmaker 1, I don't think Playmaker is gonna make any of our top 5s, which is
And
crazy.
why does this keep happening? Why does that pop up when
I
I
don't
paste
know.
it?
I don't know what you're doing.
And then I'm pasting
Back
it.
to normal. You're good.
Well, yeah, but I have to do that every time. I don't understand what's going on.
I can't help you.
Well, you're supposed to help me.
Oh my god, hey Nick T, I didn't know you were coming.
Oh,
Oh,
dude.
what? Nick T?
And finally,
And my
here-
number 1 is Nick T.
Do we have any
He's the
more?
number one
Yeah,
in
we have a
America's
couple
heart.
more. Sorry,
And
we
best
just
girl,
a
Nick T.
No.
Very quick
Best
second.
girl
Let me
Pete.
just paste this one, and
Best
then
girl
we will
Pete.
be good
Hashtag
to
best
move
girl Pete.
forward. Okay. Sorry. Next donation is from Rin Sasori
Yep.
for $2. Said Kaiba's hacking theme was in Gone in 60 Seconds movie.
Wait, is that for real?
An excellent, excellent movie. Now I have to go back and look at that. Nicolas Cage, great movie.
Wait, do you actually?
I know what
Angelina
movie that
Jolie,
is. Yes.
excellent movie.
It took me
I
a
know
second.
that
I did
movie.
not.
Excellent
Does he have a timestamp? 'Cause
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna definitely look
Did
that
you write
up.
that
Yeah,
down?
I definitely
Yeah,
want to
Gone
see
in
that.
60 seconds.
Yes,
Yeah.
best girl Pete. Hashtag.
Love that.
Hashtag
Thank you for that donation and tidbit. I'm definitely gonna look that up.
Yeah,
That's
that's
really
awesome.
cool. Thank you, Ren.
Goose is here.
Goose.
Donated $25.
Oh shit! Thank you so much, man. Thank you, dude. That is
Liddy
a
too.
very nice donation.
Yes.
Wow.
He said, "What up, guys? How's November been treating everyone? Nice shirt,
Right.
Dylan. Cool hat, Pete.
Thank
Best
you.
girls
Thank you.
are always a pleasure.
Aw.
Nick T, always a bouse.
I love that he spelled it.
Yeah, I
B-A.
love that.
That's so
That's
sick.
why I said it like
A
that.
bouse.
A bouse.
It's like Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Bouse.
Yeah.
Boss.
Nick Calibro and All Star.
Many girls would say that.
I hope. Yeah, many women would say that. I hope Goose comes for the Jump Fest.
That
Yes,
would be
please
amazing.
do.
Yeah.
And he gave his top 5 as well.
Okay.
So
Let's hear it.
5
Cool.
I, 4 Bowman, 2 Aoi,
3
3 Aoi, 2 Lightning, 1 Soul Burner.
I appreciate a man of culture
Dude.
that puts Bowman in his top.
Yeah,
five.
that's that's a first.
That is a first. That's the first.
Unless
person that's
he's your number 1, which I feel like he could be.
I think it's potentially.
Yeah,
Guess that's
it's
the Windy.
Bowman or Revolver.
You
I,
won't tell me.
you wouldn't. I don't think you'd put Windy over Lightning. I think it's gonna be Bowman or Revolver. But damn. Yeah. No, I like that Goose. I thought Bowman was good. I just thought Lightning was a little better. But Bowman's in my top 10.
Well, he had Lightning up there too. He didn't have Revolver. That
Yeah.
was his difference.
Yeah. He left out Revolver. That's the thing. You want to.
Characters impact you different ways.
Absolutely, Goose. Love it, man. And thank you
Big
for that
facts.
major donation. You are the man.
Speaking
Thank you,
of
dude.
Bowman, though, I was randomly at 3 a.m. the other night just listening to his theme song.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Good.
That's
Yeah.
so dope. It's a great theme.
It's such a great theme.
Oh, it's an amazing.
Yo, that is so true, dude.
Shadow.
That was a good one.
No
Wait,
comment.
How has November been? I'm pretty sure Cal
Cal
failed.
failed.
Women can't stay away.
Dude.
That's great. I love it.
Caliber is
love it.
100%
This month
fail.
we playing a different NNN. 99. No.
No, Jesus.
Oh God.
Wait.
All right, next dono.
I said 9. It's more realistic.
Jack
What?
Rhodes
Bro.
donated $5. Said, "Hey Dylan, my top 5 are 5 Spectre, friend, loyalty to Revolver.
Okay.
4 is Owie for being brave. 3 Windy for wicked.
Okay.
2
Hell yeah.
Revolver, rival, and ghoul, good duelist.
He's a ghoul duelist. Ghost deck.
He's a
I was gonna
ghoulist. That'd be
combine
sick.
both of those.
Yeah.
And number 1 is Soul Burner for loyalty. My top fave.
Top 2. I love that list, Jack.
That was a good
Top
list.
2
Love that.
to be expected. Revolver, Soul Burner. 5, 4, and 3 are pretty unique there.
Love
I'm
Windy.
surprised.
Yeah,
Love
Windy.
Windy on that
Surprised
list.
Windy
That's
being in
great.
the top
Spectre.
3
I
and
love to
Spectre being in the top 5.
2 underrated.
What
Yeah.
killed me for Spectre
was the ending?
was the way he ended.
So I
it
said
took me off. It took him off the list.
I said there were 2 characters that were surefire top 5s for me. Honorable mentions: Blue Maiden, Spectre.
Yep.
Those 2 characters were surefire top
Yeah.
5s. And then what happened in the last 20, 30 episodes?
No, we don't know. We don't know behind the scenes yet of maybe what happened
Yeah,
there.
Spectre's still great though. He's not far from my top 5.
But Windy, though, that's another thing that they added on a little bit too much with Lightning, is that
you mean-
he's the one who corrupted him.
Right. So we
That
don't
was a-
really know what the real Windy is like.
Right, so
Really?
I would have loved more if Windy chose
Yes.
on his own, whether he was convinced and seduced by Lightning, or he chose,
different kind.
you know what, screw humans.
Mhm.
This is what we're doing.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
You
Yeah.
did that?
But Jack, thank you for the donation and thank you for the list. Love going
Very
through
good
these.
list.
Sorry, just a second. I don't know why that keeps happening. We're just gonna ignore it. Joss Rivers donated $5. Said, "Hi everyone.
What's
Um,
up?
Thank you, Josh.
Moshi Moshi.
I love the card game so much, which is why Playmaker is on my top 5. He's an incredible duelist and always loved his strategies."
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who duel that appreciate Playmaker for that because he
of
is a
his
very
skill.
good duelist.
Yeah.
I would love to see him go against the other protagonists of the other shows.
Me too.
I-
See,
in some
you're getting
world.
you're getting that fever that every fan gets when they watch more than one Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Because then it starts like,
Because
whoa.
you start
that's
thinking, you're like,
something.
huh, if he went against Yugioh, I wonder how this would go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it would be good. Thank you for the donation,
Your own
Joss. You're a
fault,
great
Dylan.
dude. Thank you so much, man, for your support.
You wrote me in, bro.
He's been an Egyptian
Again.
god for a few months now,
And
so great guy.
That's nice.
I do apologize for roping you in. So what are your I mean, you've watched a little bit of 5Ds,
Oh, we're
you've
gonna
watched
do
a little
that?
bit of GX. Real quick, what are your thoughts on GX?
Five-
What did you tell me over dinner?
5Ds
Oh my
is
God.
by far my favorite. It's the most serious. I think it has a lot of complexity. There's a very interesting hierarchy there of like a social caste system.
Mm-hmm.
Duel Monsters it's not only classic. I really enjoy some of those characters so far. GX is just weird. It's just straight up weird. Yeah, I'm only through 5 episodes so far. You guys will probably see a review coming soon. I'm doing that tomorrow for all the episode 6s.
I can't wait.
There's not been a single episode so far through GX that has not made me uncomfortable. So
I love that.
it's a very, very odd show. Dylan told me season 1 is by far the weirdest.
Yeah.
So
Why is it weird?
It's
There's a lot of just, they
there's a
just
lot
didn't
of
really know
it's
what
not
they
even
were doing.
sexual overtones. It's just blatantly saying things.
See,
Um,
now with that, I might watch that before I watch Frames.
Alexis,
They're also,
Alexis
like,
Rhodes
14
getting
So yeah,
Alexis Rhodes getting
It's the
felt
50
up
Shades
in
of
the
Grey of
bathhouse.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
But
yeah.
they're
So
all
there's a
14.
scene. There's a scene in the bathhouse where like they're just talking about her breast size openly. I
Tell me
mean,
more.
Kronos is there trying to get Judai kicked out of the school
They're
by
slapping
catching
him.
him in a perverted picture outside the girls'
Wait,
dorm
is
room
that for real?
bathhouse. But then he's like,
What?
he's sitting in the lake just watching a whole duel. No one notices him. I had to question Dylan. I was like, wait, it's a girl, right? No, it's a dude. Okay, so he wears.
He's androgynous.
So he's androgynous. He's wearing lipstick. It's a very, very odd show. And so, I don't know.
So basically, it's the 50 Shades of Grey of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
It's just like, and it's very like.
It's funny because the first thing you said was like, oh my god, the sub is nothing like the dub.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing
and it's
like
not.
the dub.
GX is very opposite.
And just like just even like the scenes where they know what they're doing, when like they meet, I don't even remember his name, but the koala looking guy that's in their dorm
Chumley,
in
I
Show's
forget
dorm,
his sub name.
like he's just fully reference, they just show over him like a koala there as if they're seeing that, like they don't even care.
Wait till his dad
They
comes.
don't even
Wait till his dad
care.
visits the island in a few episodes.
What?
It's a weird.
That just does not sound right.
GX is a nutty show, man. I love
yeah.
it.
Sorry.
No.
But you brought up a good point at dinner. Like, it's the follow up to the first series.
It's a follow-up
Like,
to the
what do
first
you
series,
do?
so they didn't really know what to do, and it's very apparent in the early stages that they had this
That's what I've been
initial
doing.
Like a
idea,
semblance of an idea.
but they
Yeah,
didn't
that's what
really
I was doing the whole
tell how.
time.
It's just like
So I thought
I don't know.
It gets better.
It's just odd.
It doesn't stay odd, and it gets way more serious.
I
as it
have
goes
noticed
on.
a pattern, at least so far, that we're very, especially in GX and 5Ds, we create social hierarchies, like completely. Like in 5Ds, you see it, what's going on with Satellite and Neo Domino, and then you see in GX where they're like, oh yeah, you have your Obelisk Blue, you have your Ra Yellows, they're great. Yeah, all those people in Cypher Red, fuck them.
And
They're
it's such
they're
a-
dropouts.
by the
They
way-
don't matter.
And by the way,
Right, no, that's
that is such a cock slap from Seto Kaiba because he created the academy. No, it is. It is. And Yugimoto used Cypher.
right.
He used
You
Obelisk.
just go, yeah, it's just a cock slap.
Well, I'm trying to keep the FTC off my back. And so it's such a slap in the face to Yugimoto. Seto Kaiba is insane. Let's not, people love him.
He's
Oh,
a good kind of insane.
oh, he's
guy.
hot. Oh, I
He's
want to,
like
do he's
I'm
insane.
He is hot, though.
danger.
Sure, I'm not saying he's not a
I think he's
guy.
insane from the first episode.
He's legally insane. He's the
his,
Antichrist of this
his
universe.
thugs come back, and Grandpa Moto's just like, yeah, what happens if you don't come? We'll make you come. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That means two
All right,
things.
that means two things. Look, listen.
Wait,
he's
like,
the
make
Antichrist.
him...
No,
Come
no,
to the door.
Come to
Kaiba.
the door.
To the door.
Come on, people. Hear my
He's the Antichrist.
My mind lives
He's
in
the
gutter.
Antichrist of the Yu-Gi-Oh universe. And I will say this.
He's the Hillary Clinton of
Thanks, guys. Can't
All right. On that note, let's get back to donations.
And Grandpa is the
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Grandpa
I'm
Moto
in
did not kill
danger.
himself.
What is going on?
Before this again goes from just a regular VRAINS podcast to a After Dark very quickly.
That's why I said
Next-
I'm in danger.
Next,
Company's
Dono.
What's the next dono?
Next Dono is Pat Carajit again. Came back and donated $2 and said, "Where is Salomon Great DLC in Link Evolution?"
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't see that.
Yeah, they Salomon Greats are not in the game yet. They stopped. I don't know what pack in the TCG they stopped at, but it was before Soulburner was introduced to us. So yeah, it's crazy that they have not updated or maintained that game. Seems like all of the video game is just focused on Duel Links right now, and Duel Links is doing crazy well. So that's probably what they're going to keep focusing on. But hopefully it comes soon, Pat. Thank you for the donation.
Elizabeth W. came back and donated $2.
Thank you,
Said,
Liz.
video suggestion: top 10 minor characters in Yu-Gi-Oh.
I like that idea, Liz.
Minor characters, yeah.
The problem is, I feel like that wording is a little subjective.
What, minor?
Yeah, what is
how
minor?
about we'll
is
create
lightning a
ru-
minor?
Side
No, we'll
characters?
create rules and say minor characters that had large impacts but were in X many episodes. 10 episodes or less or something. We'll do something like
That'd
that.
be hard to do.
Make a choice. So
Yeah.
now I know you're number one in that. Battle Beast, clearly. Number one is one of those minor characters.
Battle Beast, I hate that arc. You know what?
Do you though?
Yes. Yes.
But like that
I'm
would
not
be like
sold.
a character like Miyu, for example,
Okay, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
she doesn't appear in a lot of episodes, but she's like the driving force
Like
behind
me
everything
and
Aoi
you?
does.
Is that like what you
No,
meant?
like Wendy's
Yeah.
kid.
Wow. What?
Like
No,
Wendy's kid.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's definitely a minor character. We never even see his face.
Someone said their favorite ship was Wendy's kid and the car.
Dude, that is brilliant. That's
It's
so
an environment.
gangster. Did you hit it?
No, she hates the environment.
I made it in the garbage, not the
Oh,
recycling.
so you hate
That's funny though. I
Oh,
love
You're
messed
timed
up.
out for 10 minutes.
But thank you,
Whoa!
Liz. I wrote down that idea. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate it.
Next dono, Darren Johnson II donated $2 and said best character is obviously the hot dog truck.
I love the hot dog.
Thank you,
truck.
Darren.
I like that.
Yeah, Hot Dog Truck was a very good supporting
it.
character.
Most reliable.
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
Right? Right.
I
when
think
you
they
need-
lost money on it, though.
When you need that hot dog truck, it's there.
You think?
Absolutely.
You think?
That man was giving away hot dogs.
Yeah.
Kusanagi, the proprietor of said hot dog truck, was dead inside the hot dog truck for several days.
And two men broke in and then controlled the hot dog truck.
And
while-
left his body there.
But
Didn't
Give
even
him a
matter.
blanket? I
based
don't
on the
even
end of the
remember.
show,
Dude, Brains out of context is wild.
based on the end of the show, you got to figure who's making some mad money. It was full,
Yeah, exactly.
packed.
Yeah, then he's got to pay Jin.
You have to think about though that the health
It's his
risks.
brother. It's free.
You're right.
Right, the health risks of some kind of dead body next to his food. I mean, that's
Well, he wasn't like rotting dead.
yeah, he's no consciousness in there.
All right, next donation.
Next donation is from Sin Cloud.
Nolan. How you
Donated
doing?
Oh, that's a name I
for,
haven't heard in a minute.
Canadian.
Canada dollars.
He is from Canada. He was like
Canada.
20 minutes from where we were. When we went to Montreal.
No,
We should have visited him. Yeah,
We
we're
should.
trying. I didn't even think it.
you're a jerk.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
Ooh,
Um,
Canada.
You're a jerk.
Anyway,
I don't know.
donated $4 and said, "Did you see my videos yet?" Smiley face.
No, I did not.
No.
I'm horrible at checking my Patreon messages, so I will go and check it right tomorrow, probably, or right after the stream, and I will comment and I will write to you, Sin. I always look forward to your videos, so I will be checking them out. Thank you for the donation. I will watch them very
Homie.
soon.
Latrell Smith is here, donated $5.
Okay, love it,
He said,
Latrell.
"Sup, everybody."
Yo, dude.
Yo.
My top 5 is Go,
Okay.
I, Playmaker, Bowman, or Lightning, and then Revolver is number 1.
I
So
respect it.
we have Go in the top 5, which is a first.
No,
Second.
Besi-
No,
second.
second.
because
You.
remember,
I was just gonna say
one will-
besides you.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's number
Yeah.
one.
I know. Yeah. Just gonna say besides you.
And
So
he could
that's-
make another list.
Although, if you consider Bowman and Lightning separate characters, because at number 2 he
Yeah,
put Bowman
Latrell, I'm telling you-
slash
I'm
I
Lightning,
telling
think
you to
it
get
could've
off
been
the fence.
interchangeably.
then Go gets pushed to 6.
Now I'm telling
That's
him.
very
I'm
true.
telling him right now. Get off the fence. Bowman or Lightning.
Call
pick
him
it.
out.
Latrell, love the list, man. Thank you for the donation.
You
Okay, a
did
couple
good.
more?
Yeah, a couple more.
Okay.
Give me just a second. Actually, I'll
That-
read them.
I like you the way
We'll do one more and then we'll read our number
Well, there's
ones.
3 more.
Okay, then. Well,
Oh,
but then then that way we just end it all after one.
Okay.
What if we just end the stream before we give our number one? So we just keep them in.
All right,
keep
guys,
it-
thanks
Next
for coming
video,
by.
listed everyone's top 1.
Goose came back, donated $5. Goose.
Goose.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I spaced.
He said, "Great job on the video, Pete."
Oh, thank you very much.
I
was good.
I'm proud of
prefer the anime Yuzu than the manga,
That was
though.
good,
I
that was
do
good.
like that
That was
she's
good.
the mom. Calibro in the Yuzu video is hilarious.
Well, now I know which video to look
I
for.
have
No, I
watch
told you it was the
told-
one
he
I
told you.
uploaded today.
You
We were
didn't
going.
tell
We
me
were
where.
going into the restaurant. I said, "Caliber, you do make a 2-second appearance in my video today.
Yes.
It's a 16-minute video. I'm not
I
going to tell you where
can
it is.
completely guess where he is in this video.
Where do you think he is?
I think whenever you start talking about the part that the manga made her the mom, he's in the bedroom with her.
Actually, it's not. It's not.
Wow,
but that is a
shocked.
great.
That was a
is
good guess.
That was
Yeah.
that would have been good. No, it's when I
That's
was
what I
talking
was
about her being kidnapped.
What?
What?
Great.
So Goose, thank you for the donation,
You
Goose.
like slide in.
Let's
probably.
get to our what we thought were the best characters of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. Pete,
I'm sorry, no.
you're kicking us off. Who is your number 1 character
Drum
in Yu-Gi-Oh!
roll.
My gold medal, as not really surprised to many, Revolver.
I called it.
He was number 1.
Surprised to none.
Yeah,
I love
almost
it.
surprised to no one. It was actually a tough choice. I did think about Wendy and Bowman up there.
Surprised they didn't make your top 5.
They're definitely honorable mentions. But the character arc that Revolver went through was the most significant for me in the entire show, by far. It just, as he starts off a villain that you understand what he's doing, doesn't mean he's a nice person. I mean, he even straight up says that he's not a good guy in season 1. Kind of the back and forth of trying to figure out who Yusaku and who Revolver were as their actual alter egos, and then you have that great scene between the 3 of them, Kusanagi as well, inside of his house. I thought it was fantastic. You one of the best duels in the series to end season 1, the Tower of the Hanoi, and I'm like, okay, how do we keep Revolver in the show to remake his character, right? He can't just go 180 and be completely a good guy, and to have him as that anti-hero kind of. He's siding with the heroes, but he's reluctant to do it. And all the way up through the war with the Ignis, the excellent duels that he has throughout, leading all the way up into what he does in season 3, which I mean, incredible against Soulburner. I mean, it speaks to he wanted Soulburner to. He wanted to accept responsibility for what he took part in the Lost Incident, but he wanted Soulburner. He respected him enough that I will go full out. I want Soulburner to beat me, though, because I want him to be free of his pain. And that was showed off by his mask cracking and cracking throughout the duel and then being completely shattered off his face. I thought he had an absolutely incredible duel. His banter is by far probably one of my favorite in the show. And overall, I mean, and for me, the best moment in the show, my most favorite moment, is him coming down against Wendy, by far. So he's definitely my number one. I can't not put him number one.
Yeah, he had our first synchro summon. I'm just gonna hop on very similarly to how I did Lightning. Revolver's my number one as well. Yeah, Revolver is
Wow, there was no build up to that.
No, there wasn't. I feel like mine was way more predictable than yours are. At least with number one, because maybe not yours, but I've boasted about Revolver for so long, and I thought he was a rival done nearly perfectly. Loved his character. Pretty much everything you just said. I mean, loved his arc, and something that I loved early on too is that how he hated the internet and how he hated online, and that resonated with me. I was like, I hate social media too. Like,
what resonated with me is that how he had his distrust for AI and robots,
right?
And I was like, that's me,
right?
I get that.
His means were insane, but at the same time, like, you understood why,
and they were necessary in some ways. I mean, it was proven right at the end. He was right.
He was right. That's the thing. He wasn't doing things because he was crazy. He was doing things because he knew, and he was right. And he saw that. I think he saw what I was trying to do at the end of the Bowman duel, or right before that duel took place, the end of the Revolver Lightning duel, and so he refers to I as I instead of the Dark Ignis.
One of my favorite scenes in
we
the
get
show.
that flashback of when he's a kid. I mean, it's a perfect scene, and it's okay.
Sorry, that was the wrong
She has
one.
TV.
And it's a perfect scene, and
I'm telling people that.
I'm just telling them the truth.
no, it's okay. I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about
It's
the
okay,
scene in the field.
Yeah,
Where
the
he calls I.
Yeah, and then at the end, he reverts back to the Dark Ignis, which is understandable because now all of a sudden I's going up against humanity again.
I could go after you without hesitation.
Revolver never changed his viewpoints. He never changed where he stood, and then what he did for Soulburner at the end was just so incredible.
He never changed where he stood, but I feel like in saying that, it means that he was rigid in literally everything. I think he progressed. And he chose to pick sides that he knew were necessary, and having that scene in the field there, that's a huge deal, calling I and not the Dark Ignis.
I agree.
So I can't say that he stayed right to his exact principles that he started the show with. He evolved throughout the show.
Right, but
in his dueling styles and in the character as the person.
The overarching thought that I'm going to exterminate the Ignis, I don't think that ever left him.
And I don't think it did, and I think as more and more as the show went on, he was proven right. He was proven right that look at what I has become.
Yeah, and then to he let Playmaker handle his business at the end.
Because
didn't
he
get involved in
trusted
it.
him enough that he would be able to take care
So
of
it
it.
even showed his growth when it came to Playmaker and their friendship and development. I absolutely loved it. Revolver's my number one.
I'm just saying,
Yes.
even rounding it off of fulfilling Soulburner's wish and saying, all right, I won't turn myself in. I'll protect the net because that's what you want. I'll monitor this so this never happens again. I thought that was a very noble.
It absolutely was. Revolver, my not clear cut but very safe number one. Calibro.
I'm gonna go next because I think Nick T is the most unpredictable.
Yes.
Right?
yes, it
Would
is.
you agree with that?
Yes.
Based on the facts, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So my number one is Soulburner.
That's a good try.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I don't even know how much I really need to go into it because obviously from the beginning, Soulburner's been my number one. I've just enjoyed his character throughout the whole show. I thought he was almost what you want in the protagonist. With the way he got his like one loss, right? Mm-hmm. He got this great backstory. You knew about his parents. You knew about what's her name, Dylan. I can't remember her name. The girl.
His girlfriend.
his
Oh,
girlfriend,
Kiku.
His girlfriend.
But like you find out about Kiku, you find out about him like basically being bullied at one point, and then he wins that duel, and he goes to the new school. He's the new kid in town, and like honestly, when you think about it, those are all like protagonist characteristics.
Yeah.
If you really look into it, a lot of times like that new kid in school is the protagonist at the beginning of the show.
Sure.
And I think that, which is kind of what Yusaku was, right? He came in, he was the new kid in the school, and it's just like bringing in a second protagonist. His duel style was very exciting. I think he was, if not the most exciting duelist. He was always very eccentric with his motions. He was hot-headed, and having Flame with him was like the perfect like counteract. Like,
Ironic.
hey man, like settle down, like because he was someone he could lean on and could really kind of help him keep his cool. And I think being able to take down Revolver without having Flame there, I know like the spirit of Flame is with him, but like he's not there, and he does that on his own, and he takes down Revolver, which is something he wanted to do from basically since he got onto the show. And I think his whole development and his whole story, it just came full circle. I felt like it was the most complete story arc of everyone in the show, and that's why he's my number one.
I respect that.
He was number 4 for me, and
It was for actually him, and as you'll see, because I'll just spoil this right now, Awie's not my number one, and regretfully, the closest, Soulburn and Aoi were the closest characters that did not make my number 5.
Okay.
And they were like on the cusp.
Before you give your number 1, because your number 1, I really don't have any idea. I don't think it's Playmaker, and it's not
It's
Aoi.
got to be Bowman.
Does it?
I can't think of another guy.
Don't guess it. He'll reveal.
Before you say what it is,
can't.
though, I do want to go over my 3 honorable mentions.
Sure, yeah, let's hear it.
We'll go around.
Yeah, very quickly.
Okay.
Awie's Eyes and Inspector, they made my top 10. 2 characters that I thought, going into the last 20 episodes of the show, they'll make my top 5. Loved both of their characters. Spectre getting no lines until the very last episode of the show. Completely...
And his last line wasn't really even.
His last line was relevant. Will Playmaker return?
Yeah.
His
The Revolver.
duel off screen, completely him just
The
floating.
disrespect, and so I couldn't put Spectre.
But he deserves the honorable mention. Yes.
And he's about number 7 or 8 for me in my top 15.
Because
And
he was great up until that point.
Oh, I loved him. He was so entertaining. Awie's Eisen, she's either 6 or 7, I can't remember. Close to the top 5.
Yep.
She just needed one more win. Think about how crazy of a stat this is. In the last 100 episodes of the show, she had 1 win.
Yeah.
Last 90 episodes, excuse me. You want to know who the 1 win was versus?
Haru.
Who was...
Justice for Haru.
Was he...
Justice for Haru.
The one thing I will say to Awie's credit is they matched her up against intense characters.
Yeah.
Bowman, main
Her duel
antagonist.
against Bowman was great.
Spectre, secondary
Yes.
antagonist, and I, who was a main antagonist. So
Yep.
at least you got representation there, but not enough for me. Playmaker is probably number 6. He just missed out on my top 5. But no Playmaker or Awie's Eyes on unless she's your number 1 on any of our top 5s.
Which I've already spoiled that she's not.
What about Playmaker? Did you touch
I
on
didn't
that?
touch on that.
Okay, well then maybe he's your number 1. But so I guess we'll wait until you go for that. But what are your honorable mentions?
So my honorable mentions, like I said before, Kusanagi. He was one of mine right up there
Surprised he
in
didn't
the
make it for
6
you.
range. And then Playmaker and Aoi I had right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought Playmaker, even without the backstory, even without really much emotion from him throughout the show, he came into his own just in that eye duel in itself at the end,
Yeah.
showing the emotion and like really showing how he was trying to pull Ai out of what he was doing, even until the final move of the duel. Like he was like, you don't have to do it this way, like, and even Ai like offers him like just join forces with me, and you can like see like the gears turning in Playmaker's head. He's like, I know I can't do that, but like I would love to find a way where this works out. And I just think his overall character, if he had a backstory, he's in the top 5.
Right.
Like if you know about his upbringing,
yeah.
he's easily in the top 5. For
Hard
me.
to connect to him sometimes.
But that's the thing. I couldn't connect to him. You don't get that like, wow, I know who this is
Right.
from him.
Right,
You
that's
just you
fair.
just never get there. And then I mean, basically everything you said about Aoi, I could just repeat. So
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So fair, honorable. What about you?
Honorable
You gotta have
mentions.
Wendy and Bowman, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
just misses the top 5 is Bowman. He's at 6.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like when I looked at the list, I was like, man, I want to really put him top 5. And I was like, you know what? That's not fair because he's only in 1 season, even though he has a massive impact in that season. I feel like if you want to make a top 5 characters list in a show, you need to have... Oh, You hate the
He
environment.
doesn't care about the environment.
You have to have an overwhelming
2 for 2.
arc throughout the entire show.
Fair point.
And so that's why I didn't put him there. But I mean, from his theme, as I've talked about, to the respect he showed his opponents, to the way he dueled, I thought was fantastic. Yeah, Wendy's right there. It knocks me a little bit of not putting in the top 5 just because Lightning had some tampering in that. But Wendy as the character that we got to see, for going as far as to kill your partner straight up. You don't need them. You don't need human beings. In his duels, where I don't believe, if I remember correctly, he won a single duel. But his duels were fantastic. His banter was great. I mean, obviously the 2 against Revolver and then Soulburner respectively were absolutely fantastic. And then I would say right outside there, it was a toss up honestly between Kusanagi and Yusaku.
Okay.
Because I'm like, Kusanagi is like a great character. I just feel like that he was so much more support that I couldn't put him in the top 5. But then Yusaku is a main protagonist. I'm like, I don't. He's a great duelist. He's the best in the show by far. But I don't have that connection to him that I want. And that might have to do with, we don't know a lot about his backstory, but he doesn't talk about even like, I mean, he could have scenes about, hey, I don't even remember what my parents looked like. Like there was not enough emotional connections, and we started to get those with how in the eye duel in the last 4 episodes of the show. Like, you know what I mean? So there needed to be more there. Maybe the way it ends, we'll see more of his character, but he couldn't make a top 5.
Now I want to question you real quick. Very, very brief answer. Your top 5, Wendy 6, Bowman 6, Wendy 7, Shoichi Playmaker 8, 9.
Yeah.
Do you have Aoi Aizen in your top 10?
I do not. Actually, the one I would put in the top 10 is Flame.
Flame, okay.
I loved Flame as a character. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was just a strong-willed, ironically, being Flame, you would think the hot-headed kind of Ignis. And he had his moments, but he was the one that kept Soulburner grounded. He provided excellent wisdom. He was the most, in some ways, I think the most intelligent in maybe not an Ignis algorithm standpoint, but more in a life experience standpoint. And him even having so much of an impact on Soulburner that after he's dead, Soulburner could still see what he would probably say to him. I thought was a very impactful scene.
Fair point. All right, well, Nick T, who is your number 1
My number 1
top character in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS?
If there was any doubt,
Hold on, wait.
Ooh.
All right.
it's Queen. What kind of man would I be if I didn't have my waifu in the number 1 spot? Can you answer me that?
That's
No.
great.
Now, despite her downfall, despite getting absolutely swept by Ai, cleaned, she was cold, pretty heartless, terrible person. But man, she's still my wife.
That's just being loyal.
You can't be serious.
I'm very serious.
Uproar in the chat right now.
Queen,
terrible person.
Yeah, terrible character.
But you know what? You gotta stand by your
Somebody
wife.
said, okay, we laughed enough, now give the real answer.
No, that's the answer. I have no other answer prepared.
And she's a character that would probably maybe make all the other 3 of us is like top 10 disappointments.
Exactly.
Well, she did make my top 10. Well, when I do disappointments.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly
she'll be
my
on there.
point. Like, she'll be on
Number
there.
1. So your real number 1 is Akira Aizen.
Yes.
Okay.
It shifts everything else about the list, but I am very loyal to my queen.
You mean Queen? You
No,
said my Queen.
Both.
Oh, jeez. Well, that was.
And even though I had such high hopes for her, and in my heart, she is still number 1.
You know, Sakaki Chrono, I just looked over, makes a really good point. You know who was not mentioned once this entire video? Emma Besso.
Yeah.
Ghost Girl. Who a lot of people loved in the beginning. I didn't love
Me
her
too.
in the beginning.
You were
I
probably
was
a little
champion.
too harsh in the
a little
beginning.
too harsh. She was a selfish, greedy. You know what?
If I were to make my top 5, it would be Ghost Girl. Would be
Number
my
one?
Yeah, right now.
A lot of people loved her.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking
she's
about.
a great character, but as the show went on, they underutilized
She lost
her.
her
You know what it
relevance,
was? A
unfortunately.
lot of scenes she was in with Akira, and Akira just stole the spotlight. If there's a scene with Akira and Emma Besso, your eyes are fixated on Akira Zaizen.
Oh,
Good looking dude, 6'5".
Well.
6'5". I think you're pushing it a little bit.
Well,
I'd probably say he's like 6'2".
he's my height.
6'4".
No, but I
Barrett Letty
understand.
told me
I
6'5".
understand what you're saying in the sense of that
So whatever
the
Barrett Letty says
gravitas that
goes.
he commands in a scene.
Yeah, and so Emma.
I would
Roll.
definitely go to, and I felt like, honestly, to progress both of their characters, I would have loved to see her with Aoi a lot more. Have that kind of best friend sister dynamic going on.
They had it for
very
a
much-
little
it
bit,
was
and I
very-
loved that.
They had
she
it
was
for a
very
little
short.
bit right before the
Yeah, with
Me
that
You
whole
reveal.
weird,
Also when she was
weird
Blue
blue girl arc.
Blue girl.
Yeah. Well, remember, yeah, because Aoi Zazen woke up on her couch and she was
See.
like, "Oh, were you dreaming about a cute guy?" And she was like, "No, I'm not."
She was trying to get her out there, man.
Yeah, she was. Imagine them at a bar. That's the episode VRAINS missed.
That's
Emma
the
and Aoi.
Piccolo. That's the Piccolo driving
That's the
scene.
Piccolo driving
things we
episode.
missed.
Yeah, Emma and Aoi at a bar. That's what we needed.
How about that guy? Nah. How about that guy? Nah.
No, that guy. It's Wendy's kid. Wait a
Thank
second. And then that's
Yeah,
how
he's kind of cute, and then they come up in the
yeah,
news.
right.
Oh.
All right. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
You would have thought.
I'm just saying those were our lists for top 5 characters. You guys are amazing. Thank you for enjoying us on this Tuesday evening. I hope you enjoyed it. My top 15 characters, if you're interested in that, will be out most likely on Thursday. And I guess we will finish up the donations.
Yes.
Cool.
Just a
Gonna
quick
finish those
second,
donos.
and then we will get back into it.
Donos.
Thank you guys so much. Then we'll wrap things up here. Maybe an After Dark Friday. I think I'm doing an unboxing on Saturday with my friend Jesse Wood. He's driving down. Gonna unbox the new set that comes out on Friday, so that'll be exciting.
What set is that? Do you know?
I really should know. I don't
You
remember
should
the
know.
name.
I put you on the spot right
Piece
now.
of
No,
garbage.
I was. I'm usually.
I was trying to set him up for promoting it, and he failed.
Are we actually doing a
Promos.
possibly doing an After Dark on Friday?
Maybe Friday night. It depends when you want to come.
Oh, cool.
I mean,
Thanks,
I
guys.
get it to work at.
On Friday?
You're getting your eyes
Laser.
out.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I forgot.
He forgot that.
Why do you
Now,
know?
I'm getting LASIK.
right before you do
Really?
LASIK, watch the Caleb City video about going to the eye doctor.
I watched it. It's great.
It's
I hope that happens. to
Mystic
many.
Fighters. That's the.
I just wanted to pop my eyes out.
No.
What are you looking at? What's up? You okay?
Yeah, Junko. Nick T is now not my top favorite people in the room. How dare you make me excited and then choose Queen?
Dude, I stand by it. Don't think that it's gonna make me waver. I still stand by it.
I
Nice.
As someone pointed out, you're a man of culture.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and we're actually gonna get to that too because that was a super chat. So that's how you know it's real.
all right. Well, let's get to those super chats.
Okay, so next dono is Anonymous once again, donating $6.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Said,
Anonymous
in
is
my
so
opinion, Yusaku wins against Yuya and Yuma, draws against Yusei and Jaden, loses against Yugi because he's the king of games. Yes, controversial.
Yuki is the king of games.
You're the only one who could really honestly answer that.
I mean, the
The more you
realistic
answer, Pete, the more Pete gets spoiled.
the realistic truth about a hypothetical like that is no one has a good answer. No one has a good answer. We don't know what they'd choose. I do agree with the sentiment that Yugimoto would beat anyone he versed, especially in high stakes like that. So I agree that Yugi would probably beat Yusaku. But it's interesting.
Does he have the Millennium Puzzle on him?
Well, at that point, he wouldn't anymore. Spoiler.
I'm not even listening.
Oh, real quick. Someone said then. So who is Nick T's actual number 5?
What
It would
did
be
you-
Soul Burner. I didn't address that.
Oh,
Because we get to
Okay.
my it would be Soul Burner. Like what Revolver did for him in that, like what we got to see out of Soul Burner because of that final duel,
Yeah.
really took him the extra mile. That's all I needed to see.
So then Soul Burner made all of our lists as well.
yeah,
The 4 characters that made all of our lists: Akira Zaizen, Soul Burner, Lightning, and Revolver. That's like the
Not a single person Yusaku.
And
No, no,
and
you
Nick,
saw
that
T
say about-
Nick T was the only one that had a different character. He had Kusanagi instead of I.
yeah.
What does that say about your main protagonist?
not good
Not
things.
being in top 5.
Not good things.
No.
It says
Unfortunately.
that he had good support.
Exactly what you said about him was like what we needed to get out of him.
Mm-hmm.
We only got part of, and it was in the last 4 episodes.
Yep.
Well,
All
Wow.
Next dono, we have Ginsburg donating $2. Top 10 out of context moments in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, I would love to do this.
That
Especially
would
just
actually
for
be
If
Brains.
you
a
want to
fun
see
video.
those, go to the Twitter out of context.
Excellent Twitter
Brains.
page.
It's so good.
Did you see
I'll write that
I saw
down,
the one
thank
that
you.
you liked recently with the dub when it's Soberner standing over when he beats Blue Girl?
And he's like, maybe next time.
Oh, that was.
I was like, what, bro?
Help me.
Latrell Smith donated $5 and said, Pete, I got you. Bowman is 2 and Lightning is 3.
Wow, he gave you the answer.
He did.
Thank you.
You called
Thank
him
you
out.
very
He
much.
got you.
Yes.
Nice.
I respect you,
Latrell,
Latrell, for
man.
that.
He's a good dude. Thank you so much, man.
The next donation is from Josh Rivers for $10.
Yes. Oh,
job.
jeez. Thank
Wow.
you, Joss.
Yes. Said self-destructing to be with his father, choosing to save Jin, and finally embracing peace and defeat will always be on my heart. It was surprised why is my top. Thank you all for this ride with Brains.
Hey, Joss,
that's
thank you for.
absolutely so true.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, man. We
Revolver's
forgot
just the
that
best.
Revolver lost his dad, and I'm happy to have been on this ride with all of you guys and everyone in the community. And I'm very excited to go on this full journey because we didn't start doing these, weekly streams, which are very intimate with the community until about episode 86 of
Yeah,
VRAINS.
because we were doing the summaries.
Which
That
was
was
every 10
pre-recorded,
episodes.
yeah.
So now, I'm very excited for you.
It's gonna be
to
fun. Week,
get right
hopefully,
into it.
a week to week of
Yeah.
where's the show going,
And
what's
it's
happening.
that's why I get very depressed and nervous about this whole FTC thing.
Yeah, I
But
know.
we'll see what'll happen.
I really just hope that it doesn't ruin our connection that we built with the community
Yeah.
and the channels we have going. So
Yeah,
and financially,
that's what I'm nervous.
we
about.
really don't want
I
to
do
get,
want to. I mean,
get sued.
No.
If I can speak for Dylan in some capacity, I'd like to think that if for whatever reason he has to change platforms, that we'd be able to, make that move with you guys, attached, and hopefully you guys would join
I feel like
Dylan
you
and
have
the
my
rest of us
support,
for the
yeah.
ride.
The thing is, we could do these kind of streams on Twitch. I mean, we
Exactly.
could.
So if
These
you were willing to
podcast-esque
move in the depth of
streams.
YouTube, we would love to have
I mean,
you.
if it really does get very bad,
Yeah,
I'll probably hop
you
back
have a
on-
good enough community that they would follow you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I know I do. And even if only half of you guys followed it,
See, that would be the one reason to get back on Twitter. You post one message and then you get
That's
back.
what I would do. Yeah, because I've been off Twitter now for 2.5 months. Don't miss it at all.
I don't blame you.
No, it's the new Tumblr.
It's not the new Tumblr.
I'd
Still vastly different.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're not jumping into that.
Not yet. It's a different platform,
I know, I was kidding.
bro.
calm down.
It's okay.
So on to the next dono.
I defend my Tumblr.
So I feel like we should address this real quick because there's been uproar in the chat for
There's been a
probably
lot of uproar.
about 10 minutes straight.
About what?
So Barrett Letty donated $2.
Okay.
He said, "My cat is real sick. Will you call Uncle Wayne?"
I got a call from him. I got a
Blocked
no,
call
a
from
blocked
him.
call from him,
Because
and the chat has been up in an
Why
uproar.
didn't you guys tell me?
Well, 'cause
We didn't wanna derail the
we didn't
conversation.
wanna- we were
Okay.
it was very focused
All right.
on the
Well,
conversation.
let's call Uncle Wayne, and you can talk to him about his cat.
I will talk to him.
Here.
about his-
We're calling
yeah,
Uncle
We'll
Wayne.
call him on my phone this
Yeah,
time.
because now he has Cal's number.
See, that's terrifying.
Does he have your number yet?
No, not yet. Thank
I
God.
can.
Nick T sent it mine.
Hey, you don't know that.
I do. Uncle Wayne?
Uncle Wayne,
Uncle Wayne.
Hello?
can you hear us?
Yeah.
How's your cat?
Now's not really a good time. What's going on?
I heard your cat, like a mutual friend, told us that your cat was sick.
Oh, yeah. It was actually pretty bad. I accidentally left the lawnmower running.
Oh my God!
Because the thing is, we have shag carpeting in our living room. Me and your Aunt Patricia.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know her.
No, we all know Aunt Patricia.
Hold on.
Oh, okay, get her on the phone.
You'll get your chance. And the problem is that I tried to mow the shag carpeting to make it regular carpeting.
That's a great idea,
That's
actually.
not a bad idea.
Why buy a new carpet?
Well, that's the thing. It's like shag carpeting may have gone out of style, but why spend all that money, all that moolah?
You're so right.
I'm trying to be innovative. That's the Uncle Wayne way.
That is the
Yeah.
Uncle Wayne way. I would really love to take after you.
I went into the kitchen to have a glass of lemonade with a shot of vodka. But it was
Calvin's go-to.
You're such a rascal.
And the cat, all of a sudden I heard a horrible noise. I walked back in, the cat was mutilated.
Wait, so is the cat
PETA's gonna come after us.
alive?
What?
Is the cat alive? Yes.
Yeah, it's we've called several vets and they told us you should probably come out of its misery, but it's still alive. Yeah, right now. There you go. Still going.
Clip that, please. Oh,
I'm glad
Uncle
you-
Wayne.
That sounds healthy.
No, Dylan. What?
I'm a big fan of your parents' band.
Thanks.
I am as well, Uncle
What's it
Wayne.
called again?
Tell him.
My parents' band is called Pat Bennett's Art.
The band is called Pat.
So it's not called that.
It's called Ruby Faith.
And what?
Yeah, they're really good, man.
Thank you. They taught me how to
They
sing.
write the theme music for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything show.
I don't know about that.
I would love
That'd
that.
be such a good idea.
That would be
No,
great in the beginning of all of your videos.
No, I don't know about that.
Hey, Dylan. When are you and I gonna go down to the pier and surf a little bit?
The pier?
Ooh.
Can you surf?
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
surfer.
man. Hanging loose. I do ollies.
I'm not.
I'm pretty sure that's skateboarding, Uncle Wayne, but
I'm not a big surfer, Uncle Wayne.
I do. I surf goofy style.
That's also a skateboarding phrase.
No, but that's also in
Really?
snowboarding and surfing as well.
I stand
Yes.
corrected.
Hey, no one get a
Like
question?
Kelly
I've
Slater.
surfed.
What?
Oh, you surf like Kelly Slater?
Yeah, him and I are good friends.
Oh, really? Have you surfed the North Shore in Hawaii?
Yeah, several times.
Oh, okay.
That's of no surprise to me.
Back in Kelly Slater and I back in '74, we used to skate. We used to surf there all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. That's real cool.
How old is Kelly Slater?
Like 40 something.
Okay.
He's got to be in his 70s by now.
Oh, Kelly Slater Senior. All right. Yeah, that makes
Oh,
sense.
of course.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Dylan,
Yeah.
what's the last really nice thing you did for Kate?
Wow, that's a good question.
Kate, maybe you could answer that.
No, I would like to. I want to know what Dylan said.
Oh, trouble in paradise.
No trouble.
I opened the door for her to let her into my house.
Yawn.
What do you want me to
Say
say?
yawn.
Yeah,
You did say yawn.
He's right though.
Uncle Wayne, what have you done for Aunt Patricia?
Ooh.
Oh, the other day I scraped her bunions.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Can we say hi to her before you go?
Yeah, let's say
I
a
was
quick hi to
hitting
Aunt,
another
Aunt
one, so,
Patricia.
like, that's why it was coming.
Yeah, and ate them.
Oh.
You ate the bunions.
All right.
That's disgusting.
Okay.
It rhymes with onions. Before we go, can we talk to Aunt Patricia?
Yeah, you want me to get her?
Yeah. Can you get her for
Real
us?
quick.
Hey, my pleasure, Reno. Hold on 1 second.
Pleasurino.
Hey,
make
I'm
fun of him.
Patricia. We call each other aunt and uncle. It's kind of a kinky thing. Aunt Patricia, are you in there? Yeah, I'm in here. Hold on. Hello?
Aunt Patricia!
Oh, who's this?
It's Dylan and friends.
That's wonderful. I had something very important to tell you.
Is that my aunt or Barrett?
No, it's your aunt.
What? What do you have to tell me?
Well, I just wanted to tell you that next week it's very important that
Did she just go underwater? What happened here?
Is
Alright.
Uncle Wayne
Aunt
drowning
Patricia,
her?
we love
Hang
you
up on
so
her.
much. Good night, Aunt Patricia.
Good night, Aunt Patricia.
I need help.
No!
Oh my god.
Was she saying help? I'm in hell.
I think
You said I need help.
Oh no!
Oh.
Well, that's why Uncle Wayne is there.
Is no one gonna question why he brought his lawnmower inside the house to cut his carpet.
Well, he said
He said that shag carpeting was out, but he's not going to pay money for a new carpeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
Holy
logic
tits.
there.
All right.
Fantastic
For
logic.
the record, Dill, I would like to point out that the Cal fan club, run out there on Twitter, has found the said picture that we were talking about Caliber on the Cal.
Yes!
Oh my
And
god.
so I don't know if you'll be able to
Beautiful.
see this,
There's
but
no
you can find it on the
signature.
Cal fan account. He quote wrote, "This photograph showcases Nick Calibro's cast before it had 70 signatures, which obviously all happen to be women."
Yeah, I'm good. That's a great
It's
tweet.
beautiful.
I might get on Twitter just to retweet that.
Probably about
Love it.
12 signatures. Probably all women.
Probably in the first hour he had about 12 signatures.
Then I blacked out and couldn't remember who else signed it.
So guess who keeps calling me? Let's just answer.
All right,
Before
you.
we...
He just said, Nick, pick up the
Insane.
phone.
Pick up the phone.
You...
Hello.
What is going on?
This is the true Californian picking up.
That's... Oh, wait.
wow.
All jokes aside, Uncle Wayne, I do love you dearly, but we've got actually a true Californian on the
Yep.
line.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, I heard none of your. I saw your top five lists. Very good, but I don't see that one specific character that I told you guys. So I think I'm gonna have to fly over here.
You
again.
can fly over.
You can
I
fly-
do have to say it was of no mistake. There was no mistake made.
Okay.
I blame
But I
Pete.
love him. I do
But
like
also,
him.
I'm going to mention that your number one pick, Man of Culture, my
Thank you.
dear friend.
See, I'm glad someone appreciates.
So I heard this is like your best friend Dylan's live stream or something. I never, not that I heard of him, but yeah.
Oh
So-
wow, dude, he's casting mad shade.
Wow.
No, it's okay.
No, it's fine. But anyway, I got out of class, wanted to explain a bit about Go, like I just said, explained to you, Nick,
Yes.
of course. Yes. So why I like Go, obviously, you guys touched up on the human thing, of course, but the most relatable thing, I think, was the whole media about Go, talking to the media. When he did all this stuff, he wanted to be recognized, but all they were talking about is Playmaker and Playmaker. Remember, he was number one of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. He was established as the best duelist, and we have this random nobody who comes out of nowhere and takes his spot completely away, takes away his spotlight, but at the same time, he still wants to be relevant, changes himself, but no one recognizes him. And what I think is he's pretty much poor Kaiba, like I said. Very
Poor
poor
Kaiba.
Kaiba. Because Kaiba has the money to pick itself back up and, host tournaments, but Go doesn't have that opportunity. Remember, Kaiba did everything just to be Yugi. And even in the Dark Side Dimensions, if you want to go about that, he literally created a machine to go to the afterlife to duel Yugi. And I think Go is somewhat like that, but he doesn't have the money or the technology to do that. So what was his best option? Soltec. Soltec was the best option to achieve his goals, to pretty much convince himself and convince everyone that he can be Playmaker. He can be relevant again. And I think that really hit home for me because he wanted to be recognized. He didn't want to be a nobody. He didn't want to stay irrelevant. And I think that drive of his ego and his character really resonated with me. And of course, they could have touched up a lot on that, which I get. I completely get it. I did not like how he came back and he's like, oh, I'm good again because I forgot about kids. Could have been a lot more touched up on that. But I still love that he won against Earth, one of the, quote-unquote best duelists, best Ignis duelists, according to But yes, I really loved that. Like, Go got some wins, and I was really disappointed that he didn't tie with Playmaker, and Playmaker pretty much ass-fold, which I get it that he's the main character, but yeah.
I 100% get you. Pete, does it make more sense now?
It makes more sense to me. It's just something that it's not even just his turn there for season 3 is back to good. It's turning bad. I get with his ego and everything he had going on, but to me, it's a step too far as a top 5 character, or even as a redeeming quality when you kill Earth. You were the reason why Earth was dissected on a table in a lab in Soltec, and I can't.
Can I rebuttal to that?
Yeah.
Remember, the people did not think the Ignis were human or even alive. Remember, let's be honest. If you show me an AI, would you think that's alive or that's even a human with rights? AIs are just programs that are just things. They don't understand the concept. Remember in the anime VRAINS, they said that they don't consider AIs as humans, or they don't understand that. The only reason why we sympathize with the Ignis is because we grew up with them. But Go had barely any interaction with the AI, or even grew up understanding that, oh shit, I actually killed someone. Like, they're alive.
That's true. That's a good point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's just screaming on the table, "I have free will. You can't do this."
Right.
Is kind of.
Which I think that was probably part of the turning point in a sense.
Yeah.
I guess that is more of a philosophical sense.
Yeah,
but
it's
I
more of a
do
moral
understand
standpoint,
that
yeah.
Soltec, yeah. So that's basically my rebuttal, but it is a good point. I do understand that.
I definitely even though I personally don't connect with Go in that sense, I definitely respect that point because those are good points.
Of course, like, I'm not shitting on you guys for not liking Go. I'm just tired of a lot of hate Go gets.
Because he got a lot.
He's a lot more character that you can actually grew to understand, and just like how Dylan really likes Akira, and no one really gave a shit about Akira. Let's be honest here.
Oh wait,
he's my top 5.
He's in all our top 5s.
Yeah, I think he's in all our top 5s.
No one really cared about him because he really didn't duel that much.
I feel like he was pretty liked.
Yeah, he's in all our top 5s.
Yeah.
No, but like in the fandom, I looked at the other fandom, and no one talks about Akira other than Dylan. I think Dylan was the biggest influence about Akira. Remember, he talked about Akira in most of his videos. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm not taking shade. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Dylan's the influencer.
You're the lightning.
I feel like
Dylan is lightning.
Dylan is lightning.
I disappeared for 6 months, and I was like, oh hey.
I feel from what I've seen, a lot of people liked Akira from comments and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I do like Akira, but I feel like there was a lot more. But then again, let's be honest. Soulburner, Playmaker, and Revolver. I guess you can take out Playmaker, to be honest. But Revolver and Soulburner got the most development, and others really got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's probably my biggest gripe with the show. But all in all,
I think Playmaker really peaked at me on episode 18. About his, Zaizen, I don't know what you have. And you're pouring out the emotions and what he goes through, and nothing after that really peaked for me. That was my biggest issue with Playmaker. Mm-hmm. Nothing peaked with me.
Yeah, I agree. Until the end of the show, and then that was it. But I was going to say, at this point, because we're trying to wrap up soon, we'll definitely discuss the rest of this.
All right.
It can be discussed further for sure.
But I'll talk to you later. Actually, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, thank you for the insight, because I think everyone kind of wanted to hear because you were the only person with Go in the number 1, so we were curious as to how that would. All right, I'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
Night.
See you, man.
See you later, you.
It was a good. He brought up a good point.
Yeah, I mean, characters just connect with people in different ways,
and I think that goes to prove it right there. Because a lot of people just attach themselves to a character sometimes with not very good reason. But he brought up a good point.
I'm fine with him turning bad. That was fine for me. It's just it's the turn back, and it's that it's almost like he just forgot about. He never stayed grounded to the root of taking care of those children. Like, I feel like if he was always grounded to that would have made him a more developed character.
Yeah,
he still could have done the things he did. But it's almost like he forgot just completely about them. Yeah. Even if it was a thing where he was bad and he couldn't see them in the state that he was in, right? But maybe he left them gifts or left them notes. He was always, they were in the back of his mind. We just dropped that storyline for a whole season.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No,
and so
it's another case of writing hiccups that reflect poorly on a character.
Yep.
Yeah.
So donos.
Thank you again, Ute, for calling. You may get backlash for some of those comments, but I stand by you.
All right, the Fireball donated £5 and said his list is number 5 Soulburner, 4 Aoi, 3 I, 2 Revolver, 1 Yusaku.
Wow.
Well, so he said Yusaku Revolver tied for 1.
Tied for first? Okay.
Get off the fence.
I know I'm a minority here, but I loved Yusaku's development and character. 0, Naoki.
I would never judge you for that.
Well, he plays Naoki 0.
Yeah.
So Naoki's a tier above God.
He is
now, see,
a tier above God.
To me, that means Naoki is a 0 because
No.
he's a worthless character.
Wow.
To me, that means he's a tier 0 character. Top tier.
He's the SS plus.
Yes, he's the S plus. Fireball, thank you for the ranking and the donation. Really appreciate it, man.
All right. Joseph Tudisco donated $5 and said his top five includes 5 Earth, 4 Revolver,
Okay.
3 Flame, 2 Eye, and 1 Soul Burner.
3 Ignis.
Big fan of the Ignis. Yeah,
Yeah,
Earth,
right,
first
wow.
time. And Earth at number 5 is
Earth-
interesting.
Yeah, I think Earth didn't get very much development, but
Yeah.
based on his death, honestly, I wish we got more.
Yeah, the
One
death
of the
scene is
saddest
great.
deaths in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been even more sadder if we knew more about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good death scene there. He's not in my top 15, but hey, he was a funny character, very
He was-
quirky,
yeah, he's
unique
very
character.
interesting. He's
yeah.
socially awkward.
Yeah, that was his big gimmick. So respect that. Thank you, Joseph, for the donation and the list.
Darren Johnson II
Okay.
donated $5. Said Revolver let Soul Burner win. He could have used Warlord's Snatch Steel effect to take Violet
Chimera.
and attack directly, unless I'm missing something.
He might be right. I don't know.
Yeah,
feel like-
I haven't gone back
Yeah.
and analyzed it. Possible. I just think that Revolver would know that Soul Burner would figure that out. Like, he wouldn't leave a card on the field that Soul Burner could possibly figure out that there was a chance for Revolver to win, because that kind of undercuts the whole moment. So I feel like he pushed Soul Burner enough to do what he did. I don't know if he necessarily could have won, but maybe he could have. But that would kind of taint it a little bit for me.
Yeah,
if that ends up
I
being the
agree.
case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to believe that he pushed Soul Burner to play his hardest, and Soul Burner beating him in earnest.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Darren.
I agree.
So you donated 2 separate of a $10 donation and a $5 donation, but they're combined.
Thank you, my friend.
Oh yes.
So he said Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is an anime where you're like at season 1 or 2 are just hit or misses, and then season 3 is like what the hell, and then season 4 comes full circle and you realize it makes sense. And it's a beautiful message you get and relate to. Hence, it's my #1 series. If there was a season 3 or season 4, definitely not 1. Stick to it, Pete. It's worth it.
Yeah, I definitely will. I definitely will stick to it. I intend to finish at least the trilogy. Usually when I start a show, it takes a monumental thing for me not to finish a show.
Of course.
Just right now, Dylan asked me
Yeah.
to give my impressions, and I just
Yeah,
it's very
early
weird.
impressions,
It's a
yeah.
very weird show.
Yeah, honestly,
It will get better,
for
definitely.
me, like I mean, I usually commit to a series
Mm-hmm.
pretty early on. Like if I'm gonna watch it, I'm committing to it most of the time. And very few shows there are exceptions, of course, but very few shows captivate me within the first 3, 4. Sometimes I have to get to episode 8 to really be like,
Sometimes
wow,
it takes
I
a
love
full
this.
season.
Sometimes it takes
Yeah.
a full. Some shows, the pilot season, I'm like, that was okay. Let's see what season 2's got, and then
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
Yep.
You know, so it happens, and that's
Sometimes it's the opposite.
and
Sometimes,
sometimes
it's
the
like,
opposite. Like, that was amazing, and it's like, wow,
like
this-
I'm just catching up in Black Lightning. It's a season 1 I really liked, and then season 2 I'm like,
what's going
did
on?
the writers get high when they were doing this? I was like, what the hell happened?
New
So-
writers.
You showed
Yeah.
me.
No, that's a great scene. That's one of the few good scenes in the show.
It's wild.
Thank you, you. Yeah, definitely stick with GX. Gets better.
Minister of Gundam donated $5. He said, Dylan, I sent you an image for use as an emoji for Barbados. And, ooh, Revolver is best character.
Dude, I think that's people love that.
Yeah.
Revolver is so highly ranked. And
Yeah.
he's great.
It was good. Thank you, Matt. I will definitely look at that emoji. Thank you so much, man.
What?
You just hit all the wrong buttons.
Every wrong button.
I hit copy and then I hit paste and I went to hit bold and I wasn't bold.
She hit the self-destruct button.
That's basically what happened. Jack Rhodes donated $5. Said, "Hey guys, been winning at locals with Salomon Greats.
Cool.
Now using that deck over at Cyber Dragon Kaiju. Now using salads at the regional."
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like Salomon Great's probably a little more consistent than Cyber Dragon Kaiju, but that's awesome, Jack. Good luck to you, man. I hope you don't run into many mirror matches. I know there's going to be a decent amount of people using salads. But yeah, good luck, dude. That's awesome. Thank you for the donation. We're all rooting for you, man. Good luck.
Yep,
Yeah,
good
good
luck.
Yeah, I
Hell yeah,
wish you the
man.
best.
Yes.
Saki Chrono donated $2 and said, "Wow, Nick T. No love for thick Emma Besso."
Don't get me wrong. Come on.
Hold on.
That's I think that's all that needs to be said. But no, I love Emma. But come on,
Yeah.
Queen.
Right?
Possibly Usaku's mom. We don't know.
I'm sticking by it.
I'm sticking by it.
Liz
Makes it
donated-
way better.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Liz donated $2 and said ... Slow clap for Nick T and his choice of queen.
Yeah, see, that's guys. I love the support. Thank you. And Pete, yeah, it's alright. It's fine.
This is what she meant by that donation, by the way. It was not a good thing.
No, a slow clap
A
is
very, very
clap is a clap.
uncomfortable, out of sync, so slow clap.
Dylan clapping off of our claps was so uncomfortable.
So I just stopped.
Liz, thank you so much.
Because we were doing it at the same time, and he's like,
nope. Jack Rhodes donated $5. He said would use Sky Striker, but everything like Mutterol, Widow Anchor, and Kagari.
Yep.
Are
Yeah,
one
Sky
that
Striker
has
got
the
hit
deck
pretty
lock.
bad, Jack. Yeah, I know Widow Anchor being at 1 is a dick pull. I know, yeah, that's not the right adjective.
What?
But Jack, yeah, no, salads will be fine, dude. You're gonna do great. Master a deck. You got this, man. Don't have any regrets going into that tournament, man. I'm rooting for you. Thank you for the donation.
Rin Say Sorry donated $2 and said, "Hell yeah, Queen number 1, Nick T, Man of Culture." By
Byra
Milf.
Dude, Byra's great too. Byra's underrated.
Yeah.
But no. Thank you. See,
Kenny
I love that
underrated.
people are seeing my genius, my true genius here.
If you want to call it that.
Genius or like
Dude,
adolescent hard on. I mean, there's a
I'm playing
fine line
4D
there.
chess here, you know.
Okay.
oh, I'm playing checkers.
Explains a lot.
See, and Shadow Realm agrees with me. Queen being his mom would make her a MILF, so better. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there we go. Minister of Gundam donated $5. Said my waifu is Atra Mixta from Gundam I Have Flooded Orphans. Best girl ever and forever waifu. Atra, I love you.
I love Atra.
Barbados propaganda. Now we're gonna have Atra propaganda.
Dude, I
I'm
respect
gonna
it.
switch
Dude,
over.
the
But
homie
the church does.
Mikazuki had like a whole harem. Like he had 2 women like fighting for him, and then they agreed like, yeah, we should just both have him.
Yeah.
It was
Nice.
sick. Yeah, he wins.
I respect that.
Except, yeah, dude, it was dope. And that was probably a spoiler in some capacity, but no, Atra rules. So
Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much, man.
All right, next dono. Darren donated $2 and said, "Pete, the man of culture he is, watches Caleb City."
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
now they know we're quoting Caleb. That's so
No.
sick.
Yes, I love Caleb City. I
We-
got most of them into it.
Dude,
so.
yeah, he just showed us like two
No.
videos, and like that was it. We were all hooked, and then we started quoting it.
Wow.
All of exactly.
Yeah.
All of our Canada trip was like spent
literally,
quoting it.
literally, it was all Caleb
It's
City. the
real
entire time.
different out here.
I caused them. I brainwashed them. But yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you caught that reference. Thank you.
No,
Man
it's
of
amazing.
culture.
Yep. So Rin say sorry, donated $2 and said best girl number 1 Queen, number 2 Byra, number 3 Spectre's Tree Milf.
Yo,
That's a deep cut, right
that's
there.
a deep cut. Get it? Because like tree cut.
I want you to walk out.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's the
Anyway,
They have Nick T's tenure.
David Sinas is here, donated $5.
Davis?
Dave, my homie.
Said one thing I love about VRAINS is that a good amount of decks in the show were meta. 2017 Yu-Gi-Oh! World's Finals were Emma's Altergeist and Aui's Trickstars.
Yeah, and I touched on that
That's
earlier,
very cool.
Davis.
I like that they're relevant.
Probably like an hour and a half ago. Yeah, that
Yeah, the
doesn't happen
Trickstars,
too
yeah.
often. But besides those, Gokis had their time in the spotlight. Now Salomon Greats are massive. So yeah, it's really cool to see those decks do well in the card game, especially for us anime lovers, anime heads. Yeah.
livers.
So thank you, Davis.
Next donor is from Saki Chrono, donated $2 and said, "Does Nick T consider Spectre's Tree Mom super hot?"
See now, right
Answer
there,
right
Why not? Yeah, sure.
right there, that concerns me, right? Because that
True
is
mom.
2 separate people that knew you were a psychopath to donate.
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
So like that right there concerns me.
Yeah.
This
Us-
reminds me.
Jordan.
This reminds me of a
Yeah,
tale.
Jordan is true waifu for him. Remember that.
I forget the. Yes, of course, always.
Would you like her more if she dresses a tree for Halloween?
I mean, she was already
She
green.
was-
Anyway, have you
was
guys?
green,
Yes, true.
yeah.
She was green for. She was.
Oh my
Gamora.
God, Nick T.
Um,
You have a tree fetish.
I might. Wow.
Big
You know,
yikes.
have you ever seen the?
Nick's really
there's the
branching
GIF
out.
where it's just like, I would like to see it. That's like.
Do you also think this was fate since you're wearing green at the
I'm wearing.
moment?
Dude, green is actually my favorite color.
There you go.
But you know what? Why not the tree? I don't discriminate. First of
Those
all.
cards are in your deck if you're dueling.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm a fan.
Does the tree bring you back to your roots?
God, I hate him
You
so
guys
much.
missed it when he went. Nick's really
No, I
branching
heard him.
out.
I heard him.
Who said that?
I did.
Dude, that's good.
Yeah, leave it to me, right?
Oh, jeez.
Bam came back, donated $2 and said,
Damn.
top 5 in the podcast now, everyone. # Best Girl Kate. Thank you, Bam.
Wow. Wait.
No, we're not doing a top 5 for people in the podcast.
Dill, put you on the
yeah,
spot.
we
It's your
Yeah,
podcast.
I'm not
You gotta
top
do it
5.
right now.
I'm omitted.
Yeah, that means someone's.
All right, my top
Wait.
5 in no particular order is Meg, Cal,
You're gonna pull the cop out.
Kate, Nick T, and Pete. In no particular order, that's my top 5.
My top 5 would be, no particular order, just listing people. Meg, Nick T, Cal, Dylan, and Kate.
Wow, bro.
Okay, so here's my concern. You guys have been doing your countdowns backwards. Does that mean I'm last on
No,
both
no,
of
in
yours?
no particular
No,
order.
no
No
particular
particular
order.
order. No particular order.
But you both started with me, so that's concerning.
Well, that just shows you're a
that
guarantee.
actually makes it seem like you're definitely top.
Yeah,
10.
you're definitely top 5. Like when you start best QBs in the league, Tom Brady. Okay, now we'll figure it out. No particular order.
Fair.
So if it was
Okay.
if it was my top 5,
Yeah.
it would be, let's see, it would be in no particular order.
Right,
Obviously,
of course.
It would be Nick T, Meg, Dylan, Pete, and myself.
So if I had to do no particular order,
Yeah.
You'd be ahead of me, Kate. Don't worry.
All right, thanks.
let's see.
Appreciate it.
I'm not my own fan. let
I
everybody
would
else be
have
my
to
fan.
go Pete,
Okay.
Kate,
Okay.
Okay.
Dylan,
Okay.
Nick T, Cal.
Oh.
But no particular
No,
order.
that's
Well, no
actually,
particular
that's
order.
definitely in order.
That's
She was
definitely-
counting on her
She was laying them out.
She's like, do I just not say Cal?
You're all
Like,
focusing
do
on the
I
no
have to
particular
actually
order
say?
part. Kate just straight up kept me off of the list and picked herself.
Yeah, I think.
When no one's gonna comment on that.
Well, that's why I put you number 1.
No, there's no particular order.
No particular
I'm
order.
sorry, I got
my
Oh, she
homies-
just confirmed it right
Yeah,
now.
told you.
You just Watergate scandaled the whole podcast. Way to go.
Okay, so Dylan, it was great to be here.
Yes,
I'm never
I-
coming back.
No, but I loved having you.
See,
Love for
Sam,
Jordan in the
Sam, I
chat.
appreciate that out
Love-
there.
yeah.
I'm Sam Merrick's
Dude.
number 1. Thanks, buddy.
Look at the love for
Oh,
Jordan.
yeah,
I miss
Jordan
Jordan.
in
I
the
miss.
chat.
See, I was like,
I'm doing
I
it
figured
present company.
present company.
Yeah, present
If
company.
she was here, this would be a much messier situation because we had 6 people to choose from.
Like
Like
2 people would be off
There
the
we
list.
go.
no,
it was-
well,
it
you
was
would
the
say
top 5,
it'd be
yeah.
6 people, or 1 person off the list if you're counting everyone but yourself.
Well, I'm saying 2 people would be including yourself unless you like.
Yeah,
Kate,
then
you
you'd
pick
be in
yourself.
trouble.
You could take 2 people off.
Yeah, exactly. Then you'd be in trouble. But yeah, we were counting in
Present
present
company.
company. Yeah,
Jordan would make my
Jordan's
list.
always my number 1. Come on.
Nick T would get cut off.
Aww.
Awkward silence.
That was actually really awkward.
I just kind of sat there straight faced too. I was like, why is nobody talking?
Yeah. Oh my God. Justice for Jordan. Oh my
Cow,
God. Bring-
cow,
no-
cow, cow, cow. No particular order.
Yo, much respect
All right,
though.
so just a couple more donos here.
Real quick, just because it was Bam that brought it up, right? Top 5. We have that question that we still have to answer of him.
we
For the
do,
After
that
Dark,
was, that's
yeah.
an
Oh, we're gonna
After
answer that
Dark.
after-
I
oh, that's an
already-
After
I
Dark.
have
Because
that.
I've been considering it all day, and I'm ready.
Oh, that's an after.
But I'll
Can
wait,
I
wait
not
after.
be on that one with Kate? Because
No, you had
Oh
to
no,
pick
but
something.
you're not even like on the list.
Wait, what?
Thank
Pick
God.
one.
Well, you
What
had
did
to
I miss?
choose.
Wait,
the-
is this the
you
thing
had
that he
to choose the
donated in
people there.
Last week.
your video
Remember?
about
What is
saying
it?
something nice about some?
No, it wasn't
or
the
best
same-
moment.
It was
What was-
best moment.
Yeah, we were on the same podcast together.
I wasn't here.
Favorite moment or most impactful moment, and this is
Yeah.
just who was present at the time. That's why
Yeah.
I wrote these 3 names. Favorite moment or most impactful
If I'm
moment
there,
for each other.
I'll think of it.
Wow, I want to be there
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, be there.
I have that in a note on
I
my
think-
phone.
I think
and
I have one
actually,
ready for
I've been
everyone.
working on it like while in between calls at
I'm
work.
afraid.
Yeah.
I've got it all up here.
I'm afraid.
Why? Well, I think we've all had some sort of impact on each other's lives.
Yeah, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hopefully in a positive way.
I recall a particular moment with Pete that I just won't.
When you hit your
Well,
sister with a wiffle ball
Yeah. Or the bacon thing.
Do I want to know?
Bacon
It was
ball.
honestly neither of those. This is great, Pete. I have a bunch of stuff.
I can think of my favorite one with all of you.
Yo, Davis, Jordan on strike for her non-payment for her promotion.
True.
Yeah, she's still striking. No,
Because
it's
she wasn't getting benefits.
yeah. Wait, you giving up benefits?
To some people,
Wow.
full timers.
My name is Megan.
Bro,
not
I am a
Morgan.
full timer, bro.
All
Got
right.
it.
Yeah, I love
Where's your Arthur
that.
Morgan?
Let us.
Megan, bro. But I love you, Bam, so it's
Bam.
okay.
Yeah, Bam's number one.
It's the most typical white girl name.
Everyone's gonna-
It
So
kinda
is
is.
Morgan, but
Morgan's also pretty.
Yeah.
damn.
Okay.
All right, let's finish
wrap
these
this
off. Yeah.
up.
Don't
We
know,
just
bro.
got a couple
Absolutely.
left.
Yeah, also, stripper, Shadow Ram Z keeps bringing up, Dylan, what's a stripper surprise?
After dark.
Yeah, that's
After dark. Yep.
You have an
Yeah.
answer to that?
All right.
I do, but that's after dark.
Anyway, next dono. Minister of Gundam donated $5 and said everyone watch Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans for
There
best
it is.
Gundam ever, Gundam Barbados, and everyone love Atra best girl.
I love
we
it.
added on to
That's
it.
the
Yes.
new. That's the new slogan
the
now.
new
You have to include
Oh,
that
no.
in everyone now.
Yes, Matt. Thank you, dude.
Absolutely.
TNX Real donated £2 and said, "Did you check your mail?"
Yes, TNX, dude. I've been meaning to message you. He sent me a Baby Metal CD and
Wow.
another CD, and I got these two CDs. I forget the other one. He had said it. And I got these CDs. I'm like, who the hell sent these to me? And then I say, gift from Thomas, TNX Round. I was like, dude, that's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
That's so
And
nice.
I think he had said he was gonna, but like seeing that it made my day. Yesterday, I think I got them, dude. So I will listen to them. I will let you know what I think of them. I was literally gonna write to you in Patreon via Messenger tomorrow when I was in work. So thank you so much, man. That was really, really kind.
Are either of them the new one?
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, because I heard there's like guest features on that I'm actually really interested in hearing.
Yeah, I'm really, really
yeah, that's
excited.
awesome. That's really kind of you.
Yeah, really, really awesome, dude. So thank you, TNX. Thank you so much, man.
Matthew Kennedy came back, donated $2 and said, "Favorite people out of the community, everyone go."
Everyone.
Wow.
I can't. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't.
I can't-
do
I
that.
can't.
I
I
can't
can't.
pick. I have so
honestly.
many. I've made so many like new friends through this community. I couldn't possibly pick.
My
a
favorite is the Cal emote.
That's
Same.
fair.
Same.
That's fair. Yeah, I love too many people, man.
Yeah, that speaks to your ego. So
Yeah.
that's-
I have to, man. I have to hold up that facade.
You have
Facade,
a
dude.
Facade.
Facade.
See, that was good.
All right.
That was
Next dono, Saki Chrono donated $5 and said, "Can we get Nick T and Calibro to do a top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh MILFs video?"
If you
I
want to
would-
do it,
I would
I'll
watch
put
that.
it on my
We're doing
channel.
it.
Hey, the filler arc has
Do
anything.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to do it, I'll put it on my
Before.
channel. I got no
There we
problem
go.
with that.
Then you'll definitely not be looked at for kids.
No.
Absolutely not.
Top 10.
What now? Let me
They
ask
can
you,
cop it,
off
he's
the top
nuts.
of your head. Off the top of your head, what's that thumbnail look like?
It's
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
MILFs.
Oh,
It's
all,
me and Nick
It's,
T.
it's
Like
Cal-
and a
this.
bunch of
it's
like,
Caliber's mom.
yo, it's us
Is
and
that me?
fuck, bro.
Shit just got real.
You just stood up.
Next
my man,
dono.
my man stood up.
You put both of their moms on the thumbnail.
Bro,
I like that.
You could probably just combine.
hey,
Oh my goodness.
bro.
All right.
So Bam donated $2 and said, "Include Cal and Morgan, please, in that After Dark," and then said, "Spell check, sorry,
I
dyslexia,"
thought so, okay.
because he meant to say Megan about the most impactful
Yeah.
with all of us.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we'll definitely do that.
Hell yeah.
And
Alrighty.
last dono just came in. Rex Kendricks donated his Colombian pesos and said, Evangelion was
Over
great-
Gundam.
over Gundam.
Yeah.
So
that-
having now watched both now Evangelion in its entirety, other than the rebuilds, I think they're impossible to compare. Like absolutely impossible to compare because one is a mech anime. That's Gundam. It's true and tried and true through and through. It's a mech anime. Evangelion is psychological. I couldn't like now having watched both. You can't compare. I like them both for very different reasons.
All right.
So
Well,
respect, but come on.
yes, Rex. Thank you. I love. That's gonna start a flame war, so we're getting off
Yes,
before
it
that
is.
happens.
Yes.
I love all of you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed our top 5 characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. Thank you to Anonymous Anime Lover who donated $100 freaking dollars. Thank you. Thank you
Plus.
to everyone.
100+.
Plus, that's right. Thank you to everyone who donated. It helps out immensely, especially with this whole, COPPA BS on the rise. But we'll see what happens. Pete, Meg, Nick T, Cal, Kate, thank you for joining me on this episode of Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the VRAINS.
One more quick dono from Rex Kendricks.
Yes, Rex,
donated
thank you.
Colombian pesos and said, "Cool Mommy Yuzu video."
You're welcome. I'm
Yuzu's
glad
the
you
cool
enjoyed
one.
it. I did a Yuzu video if you want to check that out. All right, love you guys. Thank you all
Good
so
night.
much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing
Amazing
day
day.
Good night,
and
all.
an amazing night. Thank you all.